C3 Risk and Insurance Services. Oh my God, do you have insurance?
No, I should get some. Where do I get it?
Go to our friend Joe Earl at C3 Risk Insurance Services, Facebook.com/C3 Insured. I can stumble over words and still nail this ad read.
Would you call that nailing? You need ad reading insurance.
Maybe if I get a $25 Amazon gift card when I sign up for his insurance, then I can buy abilities to do that through Amazon.
Yeah, you could get like Amazon books on how to speak correctly.
Yeah. CRiiiME is a show where I, Rich Slaton, read a true story about lawbreakers to my friend Josh Shefsky, who apparently forgot how to talk.
I'm all the way over here.
Hot start.
Rich's distant assistant.
Oh, this is gold.
I'm gonna punch you in the face. Play the music, you little cock.
Fuck yeah. CRiiiME is the show that starts now.
Oh, like right now?
Oh yeah, do your line.
Okay. Each week, Rich reads a real crime story. I don't know a word that rhymes with story.
And my homie John always has the hot riff. He really loves it when you send.
Don't send anything
them
to me. Don't you dare.
CRiiiMEpodcast@gmail.com.
Don't you send
Label
anything.
it John Shefsky. He loves them. Make sure the lighting's really good. Rosh
Well, we're here,
Hashanah,
guys.
motherfuckers.
Sorry. Your deep breath made me go like, and we're starting now.
Yeah.
Okay. Rosh Hashanah. Yeah, to all of our Jewish listeners. What
Yeah.
a fucking stupid.
Also, a fantastic quote
what a
ad-libbed
stupid intro to the show.
by today's guest
Mazel
on
tov.
a fantastic film called Brian's Party.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Creator of the goddamn Comedy Jam. Put your virtual hands together for Josh Adam Meyers.
Hi, boys.
Oh, dude. Hello.
Hi, boys.
Shalom.
Hi, boys. Shalom.
It's the Jew crew today, huh?
This is all levels of Jewishness. Rich is the top of the food chain.
Am I middle?
You're middle, and then I'm like.
That just shows how not Jewish Josh is how...
If I'm more Jewish than you, dude,
Yeah.
I mean, genetically I'm Jewish, but man, other than that,
Didn't you rock?
Look at
You
your
were-
nose. You're Jewier than me.
No, all the...
What?
My little nose.
No, dude.
His wedding was only Jewish because I was there. Let's put it that way.
No, but
How dare you? My uncle said a prayer.
he rocked the what was that, like a high or a gimel on your? You had a gimel
Oh, I
hat.
have the high hat. Yeah, I still have that. I
Yeah,
love
there
that
you
hat. I was looking for it the other day. Thanks for reminding me. I was like,
Arthur-
where's my Dodger high hat?
And you're-
Artorius
Okay.
Williams.
Can you ever do research on a show with someone who has a normal name, Slayton?
Sure. No.
But you won't do it?
Was born on Thanksgiving 1972 in Chicago.
Arthur, we're going to call him? Okay.
Art, we're going to call him, actually.
Art of Chicago.
Art came from a long line of miscreants. His father was the son of an alcoholic Sicilian truck driver and a
Join the
mentally
club.
ill Irish mother.
He's going to turn out just fine.
Pops grew up in crippling poverty, which got worse when
Poverty?
Grandpa... Shut the fuck up, Shefsky. Which got worse when Grandpa drove his rig off an overpass.
Oh God, that's so sad.
I know.
Oh.
If this is where you start with things are sad, you should just leave now.
Yeah,
It's gonna get better?
Oh, it's
It's
always
this
sad,
isn't a show
dude.
called Happy. It's a show called Crime.
You know how people get into crime? A lot of sad stuff.
Lot of
builds
bad
you,
shit
like
happens.
Legos of sadness build you up into a castle.
No, but this
of
next part's
criminals.
actually really nice.
Okay.
Instead of rolling up her sleeves to provide for her kids, Grandma would sit and mutter the phrase "Lottie Fadati" for hours.
Oh, so she was senile.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, thanks for helping pull your weight
Just
around
bringing
here,
the
Grandma.
happy.
Well, maybe she lost her mind, Slayton. Have some respect. Maybe when her husband died, she lost her mind.
Or she's a rapper, just says Lottie Fadati, and that's. I mean, she would be a good trap rapper now.
That's right. But this is how many years ago? What year?
1970.
Wait, I just want to know, where did you find out that they said Lottie Fadati? Like, what Wikipedia page is posting these kind of little gems?
Slayton's a crime journalist.
I'll
now.
give you the sources at the end
He's
of today's show.
To do the show, Slayton does.
I want a bibliography.
There is one.
There is one.
At 16, Pops hit the road as a con man, running small scams like change raising and paper hanging.
The fuck is paper hanging?
Paper hanging is where you create a fake identity and then get buy a bunch of stuff on credit under that fake identity.
I thought it was just hanging
Change-
I
paper.
thought that was just called.
I thought it was a sign poster. Oh my god!
It was just called fraud. Like,
There's specific types of fraud.
This is a form of fraud.
like change
Josh.
raising is like that. Not Laurel and Hardy. The other ones. Who's on first? Why's my brain shorting out?
Key and Peele.
Yes, the Key and Peele bit where he like gives him $20 and gives him $5 back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you make change a billion times to confuse the guy and then you
Yeah.
end up with more money.
Yeah. Okay. That's
All right. Eventually, Pops made his way to Dallas, Texas, where he met a 17-year-old waitress named Melinda Williams.
Fuck yeah. Now it's good.
This is in the 70s, dude.
An as yet undiagnosed bipolar schizophrenic.
And that's like the excuse that you can use. I love that you were just like, it's the 70s. A 50-year-old guy with a 17-year-old. It's the 70s. That's how families start. That's what they did.
He hit the road at 16. They're both teenagers. Okay. He's a young con man.
Kid? Okay.
Yeah, this is dad. This is the dad and now soon to be mom.
This is the Bonnie and Clyde kind of situation
of our protagonist of today's story.
Hot youngins on the road, just doing what they need to survive, making love in the back of an old car when they have to. Right?
That sounds great, man. We should do that.
It's like a Bryan Adams song.
Oh,
First of all, we're not hot or young.
Ugh,
you silly, silly girl.
Speak for yourself.
Oh wow, we've got a real confidence booster in the room. JMO, are you shooting vapors into the air?
I am vaping.
Melinda was an as yet undiagnosed bipolar schizophrenic from a strict evangelical family.
So she was really good at sex.
With promises of a fun life as a hippie, she quit her job on the spot and jumped in his truck. They traveled the country until March of '72 when Pops was drafted despite his best efforts at dodging. Upon learning he was headed for Vietnam, he punched his commanding officer, landing himself 533 days in military jail.
Hey, man, I'm just good at dodging. I'm dodging everything.
That's not what you're here for. You're actually here to die.
We'll play dodgeball. I'm good at it.
Wait, so he got out of going to the war because he just ended up going to jail instead?
Yeah, basically.
Wow, I didn't know that was
that's a great way to do
option,
it.
Yeah,
get a record. That's a good way to not.
But what's military jail like? Is it as easy as
mostly
regular
butt
jail? Mostly butts.
Yeah,
so
but it's
you
voluntary.
Have a great
though.
time
It's
there.
voluntary though. It's super fun. Art was born with his dad on the inside.
Guys all greased up, taking showers together. You got any more of that soap?
God, that sounds so fun.
And they just rub their muscular chests against each other to lather.
Yeah,
up.
you finish basic training and then get into some new basic. You know what I'm saying?
The only thing I wear is my combat boots. To be perfectly honest,
that's so hot.
Oh, dude, I bet their nuts look so good.
When Pops, Shane was like, "What did I come down to this dungeon for?"
We're in the first paragraph still.
Second paragraph.
Okay.
When Pops got out, the family lived a normal life until he was arrested for robbing a truck. He served his time and was out within a year for good behavior. Things settled down until Dad's mistress showed up at the house. Melinda beat the shit out of her and was arrested for assault.
Melinda's who?
The mom.
Fuck yeah. Big ups,
So we're talking
Melinda.
about Dad and Mom of our main character right
Big
now.
ups, Melinda.
But Dad also, so he hooked up with this chick on the road while he had the wife of, this is Arthur's dad.
Yeah.
Is hooking up with this.
Has a mistress. No, the 16-year-old became his wife and Art's mom.
Okay.
Melinda is the evangelical.
Okay, so
Yes.
just for sake of keeping up with the story.
Yes.
So you didn't tell us he had a mistress yet until the mistress showed up at the house,
Yep.
right? Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Looking
cat fights.
Yeah.
Arthur's dad's getting it. He's getting his.
You know what? This one was so vicious I called it a dog fight, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think a cat fight would undervalue the level of beating that Melinda gave to the mistress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking for more stability, the family moved to a trailer park in Texas.
The family moved to a stable trailer park in Texas.
It's my favorite song.
It's all of our favorite song.
Where Pops found Jesus.
That's his other mistress?
Yes. Yeah. Super hot.
Only lady I make love to nowadays.
Great hair, good
My
abs.
loving Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
While
She's
Dad
too
was
fine, too hot to handle. Oh, baby, look at her up there on that cross, just taunting me with that body.
While Dad was at church, the kids stayed with their babysitter.
Feet all smashed together, just ready for a foot job. Oh, Lord.
There's the hole in the hand too, which makes it really nice.
That is disgusting. That man died for your sins.
Not mine. I'm a Jew.
You just don't.
We started this with Rosh Hashanah.
That's true. Take your time.
While Dad was at
Don't
church,
rush.
the kids stayed
Ashana.
with their babysitter, who also happened to be a Santeria priestess. When Dad found Art kneeling in front of a candle-filled altar, he accused her of devil worship and took his son to a trailer park exorcism.
That sounds like a good way to teach your kid a lesson, and
That sounds like the most fun
Scare the
kind of
whole-
exorcism.
right? They have Squidbillies on in the background. They just pour a Pabst on you. Die, spirit, die! Light something on fire. Maybe smoke something that
All
shouldn't be
I'm
smoked.
so lost in this story already. Like, there's so many details that I feel like I'm missing. Like,
Slaton, take a deep breath and just do the whole thing. Ace Ventura style. Go.
Art, who's our main character, has two parents who are super fucked up. His dad is a con man and also kind of a dick, and his mom is a crazy person, and now they live in Texas to avoid Dad's mistress.
They don't just live in Texas,
Perfect.
Slaton. Be more specific. There's a lot of regular
I'm caught
places in
up now.
Texas. They live in a trailer park.
They live in a Texas trailer park.
Which could be anywhere. It could be
which
in
is a
Fontana,
nice
California.
place to
It doesn't
live.
have
If
be
you're going to
Texas.
live in a trailer park, living in Texas that's the shit, dude.
And they just conducted a trailer park exorcism, which I think it means they just put him on a bull and said, if you
So-
can survive for 8 seconds, the demon will be out of you.
Aren't they opening up for Vampire Weekend
I was going
next-
to say,
next week?
what a great name for a band or an improv group. You're right, J-Mo.
Trailer park exorcism.
fist bump there.
The next day, the family left for Chicago, where Dad went right back to his mistress.
Well, I mean, it was a good pussy. I mean, she's 17, for Christ's sake, right?
Yeah.
I think they're all grown up now, right?
They're
I
all,
mean, it was the 70s.
Sure. Yeah, born in 72. There we go. Mom and Pop split, but she agreed to let him occasionally see his kids, which resulted in him putting his children in the car and driving straight to Oregon with the mistress.
What did he do in Oregon? This is one time or every time he had like
No,
a
this is,
weekend with a
he
kid?
like kidnapped them for 4 months.
Oh, wow.
And they bounced up and down the coast, robbing people, like committing like
Crimes
running
with
scams.
children?
Yeah, with kids. Yeah, kids make crime so much easier. They're a good distraction.
We haven't even gotten to Arthur's life yet.
No.
As an adult criminal.
No, and
we're
we're
just
just-
talking about his dad would bring him along the ride. Like, kids, wait up in here. I'm going to run into the convenience store and come out with a gun with a guy chasing him and a bag full of money.
Yeah.
Okay, this is crazy. This is bad parenting 101.
Yeah.
Jane was like, that's actually sounds great. It sounds like how I do it.
This seems stable.
It's a rock and roll lifestyle.
That's so mean. I'm gonna.
What, do we make you
I'm
sound
gonna
like
d-
Bernie Sanders?
I didn't sound anything like Bernie.
This is like the tender.
sounded
This is the tender JMO right now. He's like, that's mean. I can't believe you.
I want to find out the rest of the story besides being shat on by my good friend.
Eventually, the couple grew tired of having the kids around,
I know.
so they dropped them back off with.
hashtag roast culture.
Wait, go back to that line. That
Eventually,
sounded
the
good.
couple grew tired of having the kids around for all their fun, so they dropped them back off with Mom and disappeared from Art's life entirely.
We just gonna leave him in a ball pit while we go rob this place.
That
Okay.
does sound like better parenting
That's-
choices, though, right?
See that I can deal with.
Those are adult things we got to do. You kids got to stay
Yeah,
here.
they have supervisors at the ball pit. Just leave them there.
Yeah.
That seems totally
You
reasonable.
can't drown in a ball pit. It's not a pool of
True.
water, right?
True. I mean, there's a lot of pee in there, but you probably won't drown in it though.
Is there a lot of pee in there?
Dude, those things are so gross.
I used to. The balls would touch my mouth. I mean, are you serious?
Yeah. Oh, it's the most disgusting place
Oh,
ever.
a ball pit? Oh
But
god.
they're also like some of the most fun. It's like quicksand that you're safe in. Right?
Yeah, quicksand where they throw toddlers in and just hope they don't shit themselves.
Well, I was one of those toddlers, and I didn't shit.
you probably did.
Maybe
You
I did.
probably
I don't
shit
remember.
yourself.
My mom said I never
You're
shit
shitting
myself.
yourself right
I was
now.
a perfect child. I didn't cry either.
Most toddlers shit in the ball pit once or twice or 7 times.
Shitting
You know?
in the ball pit. Dun, 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 dun. Shitting in the ball pit. Everybody knows.
With dad and mistress finally gone, things were stable. Art earned the best grades in his class and became a star on the wrestling and baseball teams. But one day, his mother made the mistake of telling her evangelical parents that her sister was dating a biker. Later, she returned home with groceries. Said sister showed up, pulled a bottle of beer from Mom's grocery bag, bashed her in the head, and put her in a month-long coma.
Wait, who did what? to
All
why?
because she's dating Razorblade?
Yeah.
Really?
Wait,
Our main character's aunt was pissed off that Mom ratted her out for dating a biker to their Christian parents and put her in a coma. Yeah. No, this story...
her own sister?
You know,
like she
one
put her
thing
own
about
sister
this
in a
show-
coma just for telling her parents
Yeah.
that she was dating a biker?
Yeah.
But her parents are evangelical,
Yeah.
so they're obviously clearly
All-
not
all
level.
true
They're
statements.
clearly level-headed, rational people that you could
Completely.
come clean about your true.
No, if there's one thing I've
animal
learned from
nature
this
to.
researching this story is everybody in this is pretty normal. So,
Okay, I'm looking you straight in the eyes. You're being facetious.
no, I'm not.
sarcastic,
I'm being
and
very
you're
serious.
trying to hurt me.
They're all super cool.
You're trying to hurt me.
CPS sent Art to a boys' home, where he befriended an older child with a talent for drawing pictures of hot women posing on muscle cars.
I used to do that when I was a little kid too.
When Art saw how popular his friend
did.
became for
I
giving
love
the
drawing
pictures of those pictures to the other horny boys, he began to carry his own sketch pad.
You sound like an evangelical crazy person.
And the other horny boys who are surely going to hell.
Well, that this dude was like making was getting status in this boys' home
Yeah.
by giving people like, hey, you want to beat off? Here's a picture.
He's
I
basically
drew.
drawing up, like
He's drawing
Frazetta paintings
He's drawing
for the
light
kids.
porn,
Yeah, like,
softcore. Yeah,
He's drawing porn.
softcore porn.
Did you guys ever do that? I used to draw women all the
I
time.
just draw dicks.
Yeah, same
I'm
here.
good at because it's easy.
draw-
It's like a half.
Yeah, you have a model
know.
right in front of you. You put the paper right next to it.
No, I don't draw my penis. My penis is very ugly.
That's not what
I
I
have a
do.
very ugly penis.
That's not what they're saying around the comedy scene.
Oh.
The folks down at Comedy Central speak otherwise about that cock of yours, Jay.
His penis also has a gravelly voice. When he comes, it's like,
He's got a Twitter account.
when he comes, it goes. "Bleh."
You don't know how much this dick tweets. I love your cockity.
After weeks of drawing every day, Art won his first art competition. Ba-da-ba-ba. When Mom finally came out of the coma, the family moved to the roughest housing project in
I
Chicago.
haven't heard that one before. The old
They
redneck
moved to a housing project first thing.
The roughest housing project in Chicago.
Fuck yeah! It's like you were in a coma for 7 months. We got to toughen this woman up.
You know, but the best way to get over a coma is having no heat. So
You don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to soften people up after a coma. You want to go hard right away and show them like a hard life.
Mom had no way to provide, so Art, now 12 years old, started robbing parking meters.
That's a good.
Oh, dude,
scam,
little
man.
cool hand art, huh?
Yeah.
Little cool hand art.
After a couple weeks, Art got jumped by a group of teens who turned out to be members of the Latin Kings. So he did the only thing that made sense and joined Satan's disciples.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah,
As
which
you
is the most
should.
rock and roll gang name because
yeah.
a lot of gang names are not that cool.
Yeah.
That one's pretty rock and roll.
Satan's disciples, yeah.
El disciple de Diablo.
Still, Art excelled at school, so much so he was promoted from 6th grade straight to high school.
You could do that?
Yeah. Remember, we just did a
I mean,
story
you
about
can
two guys who
you
graduated
can-
college by like 17 or
You
whatever.
can skip a grade, but I don't think this kid must.
You just said promoted, though. That's like the CEO comes in and goes, Johnson, come with me.
Let me see your nude, your
doing real
softcore
well.
porn drawings. All right, move them up to 12.
These hips,
Talent can't stay in elementary school.
These hips are outrageous on these drawings. You're too good for elementary.
First of all, your drawings are not anatomically correct, being that you're in 6th grade. Let's get you up to high school where you really can see titties. You know what I mean? These square titties aren't.
These women don't even have clits in your drawing. You don't know anything. I'm
Wait,
gonna get you with
mister,
the big kids.
they're not supposed to be squares. Oh, golly gee. But they sent
These
him...
nipples aren't even lactating. You have no imagination. But you know what? I'm going to put you in with the big kids. Expand your horizons.
But they sent him to Thomas Kelly High School.
Get you a corner office.
One of the worst in the city.
Company parking spot for your bike.
Most kids never graduated. Violence was an everyday occurrence, and the teachers did not care.
So he got promoted to a shit school?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They promoted him to East Side High from Lean On Me. They were like, well, you're too good for elementary school.
Yeah.
Why don't you get beaten in the
Why
cafeteria?
don't you hang out with the drug dealers in the scum section? That doesn't sound like he got promoted. That sounds like they screwed this kid up.
In his sophomore year, a brawl broke out between the disciples and a rival gang. One student was stabbed, and the assistant principal had his head shoved through a glass cafeteria bar.
Oh, fair. Yeah,
14-year-old
smoking in the
Art was
boardroom.
expelled.
Dude, that sounds like some chaos at the school.
Yeah.
His principal had his
Fucking
fucking head
art,
thrown.
man.
Right?
Dude, I never hear about the principal having their head like you grab by the collar.
Lean
or by
On
the
Me.
belt
It's
thing.
the opening scene. Welcome to the Jungle starts playing.
Oh, my God.
Everyone's walking through the hallways. A fight breaks out. The principal goes to break
Dude,
it up.
I gotta rewatch Lean on Me.
Dude,
I gotta
Morgan
listen to Welcome
Freeman
to the Jungle.
kills it in that movie.
Kills it at everything.
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
on, dude.
Yeah,
Come on.
free
Bucket
Mr.
list. Come on, bro.
What my top 10? It's actually all of my top 10 Morgan Freeman movies are the bucket list, which is weird. I know.
That's a lie.
That's
100% a lie.
You should get back into comedy so you can do that one on stage.
So Art began to attend church, not for religion, but because of a girl. They began to date, and 6 months later, she was pregnant. And
He was.
Wait, how old is he?
He's 14 and a half?
yeah.
Good for him.
That's right. Junior high
Fuck
cream
yeah,
pies. You know what I'm
dude.
saying?
Hashtag
getting
junior
up
high
in
cream
there.
pie. This guy's he's already got baby.
I don't fight, because when you fight, you die. I live my life by the code of the cream pie. Cream pie.
cream pie.
Oh. In 1990, she gave birth to a son who Art insisted on naming Arthur Jr.
Math.
J. Williams III. Literature. Art did,
Baby, that's how he was made.
Art did not want to be like his father. He wanted to provide. So at 17, he took a job in construction. But as it turned out, he and the other young workers were just window dressing for a scam that involved convincing old ladies they needed roof repair, then robbing them blind while the kids pretended to work.
So just a standard construction job. He's a contractor.
This is Art.
This is Art. Dad is out of the picture now.
Okay, Dad's gone. Mom is still evangelical. What about, and then, so all that shit about the mistress is over. This is all about Art.
This is all about Art.
and him cream pieing at 14 and a half.
Yep.
Having a baby at
Dude, I didn't even know. I don't even know if I was like through puberty at 14, dude.
Dude,
I think I was
I was
puberty
still
at eight.
scrooching. I don't think I was actually doing shaft work. I think I was still putting pressure on my dick.
Oh, that's always fun.
Just smashing your friend in with your hand. All right, a little friction will get it going. Yeah, I don't think I went through puberty until I was like 18. This kid had a kid.
I'm still waiting for it.
You still,
Yeah.
Slaton stands up and pulls his pants down. He's got a micro penis
Yeah,
and a bald.
Mrs. Slayton's very upset. She's like, I want to have a kid. Will you please?
You're like, well,
reach
you got a
puberty?"
kid, baby. Look at this baby dick.
Let's do it.
Poor Slaton. No, Slaton. I heard he's got
This
a
guy
heart.
isn't Jewish, right?
No.
We were just talking about Jews at the beginning. So this
Yeah.
guy is just evangelical. He's Christian.
He's nothing.
He's
Chicago.
He's in the Satan gang. I mean, I don't know if
Yeah.
you'd say he's nothing. He might be worshiping the devil.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to join a gang, man. You need friends.
Right? That's how it goes. You got protection. You need it. There's
let's
safety
see.
in numbers, kid.
Sometimes his boss wouldn't pay, so Art took a side job boosting cars for chop shops. That led to his first stint in a juvenile detention center.
And he's still like 14, 15
got
years
a
old.
He's like
kid.
17 now.
He's got a kid and he's in juvenile detention center. I love Art.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. You'll love him.
I mean,
even
he's
more.
had a. You have to admit, he's had a rough, weird childhood. So, like, what did you expect, right? You know,
President.
huh?
I expected president of the United States of America.
I still don't feel like this life is that weird. This is people have had some way way heavier.
As far as the lives that we have covered on the show goes, this is pretty like I would say this is middle. This is middle.
But don't be desensitized by doing a show about crime and
Oh, sure, no, it's still
normalizing
definitely-
this stuff. Like,
What? Your dad didn't perform a trailer park exorcism on you?
he did, but only once, and he learned from it. So we didn't do it regularly.
That's good.
I'm just
that's good
joking.
parenting.
J-Mo's taking it serious. He's like, whoa, I didn't know that about you. I love your dad.
When he got out,
I've never said love your comedy ever, and that's like the billions and billions.
J-Mo, our listeners are going to pick up on that. That's one of your catchphrases.
It's so,
For those of you listening right now, Josh Adam Meyers is famous in this town for telling people that he loves their comedy.
never said
I got to
that.
tell
the
you,
only thing he says.
it's a very
I've never said that.
none of
very
these words.
enduring-
These words are all just ones we spliced together, recording-wise, from him saying "love your comedy." He's not even here actually right now.
This is like the Chef episode of South Park after Chef quit. Like Josh left.
Well, hello
he left
there.
at the beginning of the show. He's like, I didn't even want to be part of this. All right, we got a couple words we can work with. Part and
When Art got out of juvie, he found an unlikely mentor who would change his life. His mom's new boyfriend, Pete, or Da Vinci, as Art would later call him, was an easygoing Italian and a regular at mom's new waitressing job. Like a lot of people in Chicago, he claimed to work in construction.
But like his mother, worked at the Cheesecake Factory.
When Art came home from detention, Da Vinci pulled him aside and lectured him on the responsibility of being a father
Sicilian cheesecake like my mother used to make.
and how stealing would lead him to abandoning his son just like his dad had done to him. Then Da Vinci cryptically offered to show him a better way to escape the projects before sending Art to bed. The next morning,
What does that mean? Cryptically showed him like
he said,
show you.
He gave him the
tomorrow morning-
Hellraiser cube and was like, figure this out.
See what you can do.
You like puzzles?
The next morning,
No,
Da
seriously
Vinci,
though, Slaton.
he was like, hey, tomorrow I'm going to show you a better way.
Okay.
But didn't tell him what it was.
Okay.
The next morning, Da Vinci took Art to his job site, the third story of an old brick building in a room filled with printing equipment. As Art walked around, he noticed odd details, like cans of green, white, and black ink.
Well,
Da Vinci came from a long line of
money
counterfeiters.
makers. You want to make money, right, kid? Then
Da
make
Vinci's
money.
a counterfeiter. Now I see where this is going.
Going back generations. Apparently this was like a family business you would pass down from
Yeah.
generation to generation.
Yeah.
With no kids of
my
his own.
father, my father's father. Yeah, we do this.
With no kids of his own to pass on the family trade, he offered to take on Art as his apprentice, provided he agreed to 3 rules. 1.
You gotta suck his dick.
How'd you know?
J-Mo, sorry, Mom.
Rule number 1, you gotta suck my dick. Rule number 2, you gotta suck my dick.
Rule number
3. I gotta suck your dick too. It's a weird thing. That's the only way I can get off.
Strange set of rules.
I thought rule number 3 was going to be like, don't forget rule number 1 and 2. But he's like, I got to suck your dick too. Because we believe in, like, a symbiotic relationship around here.
Rule number 1, tell no one, not even relatives.
Of course. That's about anything, though. You know what I mean? My family doesn't know about this podcast.
I know, it's
Right?
great. Rule number 2, don't spend counterfeits anywhere near your home. The money always gets found out, and spending near home makes it easier for the feds to catch you.
Interesting.
And rule number 3, never be greedy.
now, what does
What
that
is?
mean?
I think it means like
Be more
being
specific.
counterfeit like 5s and 10s, but not maybe 20s, but not hundreds.
Well, we'll get into what it actually like. Actually,
Let's
counterfeiting
go. I
is
want
the
to
big
know.
thing.
This is-
But never be greedy means like literally keep your business minimal,
Can
small.
I say something, guys?
Yes, you
I
can.
have a feeling Art's gonna get greedy. Woo-hoo.
Oh, dude, that's J-Mo's Mystery Science Theater coming
Wait.
out right here. He knows what's
So,
gonna
like you're
happen.
saying that I set up 3 smoking guns early in
Yeah.
the story, and
Fuck
maybe they'll get
yeah,
used. That's so strange.
dude.
Art
half the
began
fun.
his education in what's been called
Rich
the
Slaton is the fucking like no, I forgot the guy's name.
almost did
Never
it.
mind. I had a stroke midway trying to make that riff.
You've had 10 gallons of coffee, J-Mo. How did you forget where you were going?
You're the Christopher Nolan. All right, never mind.
I get it.
I'm seeing you guys. That's my time.
I think of myself more as the David
Guys,
Lynch
thanks
of
for
this
tuning
podcast.
in. We're gonna have to. This is the first time we have to end early. Jam needs a nap.
Art began his education in what's been called the world's second oldest profession.
prostitution.
Prostitution is the first.
Yep, and this is the second, apparently.
Counterfeit.
I thought it was being a doctor.
Yo, these are fake rubles.
He learned to make plates that mirrored the
We print
images
our
from
own
real
shekels.
currency
Oh, sorry.
and how to mix and apply the paints to mimic the colors. On their first run, they printed $100,000.
Yummy.
Da Vinci paid Art $7,000 in real cash.
In the 70s? Mm-hmm. Oh, damn.
Well, no, he was born in 72. This is late 80s now.
Okay. Oh, damn.
Yeah,
It's still like down
$7
payment
grand
on
is
something.
It's
still
so
legit.
weird that for some reason, as this story goes on, I keep picturing this in like the 40s, and like, you know what I mean?
That's
I-
part of your
feels like it
psychosis.
should be in the
It's
40s.
just with all the words and stuff, and also with your fucking nasally radio,
With my
like, and then he, he came out of nowhere with a counterfeit dollar billfold.
JMO has a rare disease no matter what. If you tell him what happened 20 minutes ago, he's like, and then blah, 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 blah. You just imagine everything in the 40s.
Martians are taking over.
On their first run, they printed $100,000. Da Vinci paid Art $7 grand in real cash. Within weeks, the kid was already broke. Second time around, Art paid attention, soaking up all the knowledge. Da Vinci was a stickler for security. He schooled Art on the Secret Service, which only had 2 jobs: protect the president and the currency.
Isn't that interesting?
It's a weird pair, right?
Split of like responsibilities. You're just like, that's that important?
Yeah, I mean, look, I would jump in the front of a bullet for a $100 bill.
Who did it start off that way? Was it Lincoln who, after Lincoln died, did they have a Secret Service? There was
I have
something-
no idea.
I forgot, but like there was something like, "And hereby from here on out, you're going to protect me
And the
all
money."
this cash."
No, I think-
because cash moves everything.
I think the Secret Service has been around since the jump, man. I mean, they just weren't called that. They were just called
Something else.
presidents.
My homeboys that protect me, yeah, the boys. You gotta get through my boys first.
Every workday
It's a
began
Washington quote.
by putting super glue on their fingertips to avoid leaving prints. Every night, Art scrubbed down each surface with industrial strength degreaser. Once, he went to the bathroom and forgot to take off his gloves, getting the powerful chemical on his junk. It burned and turned his dick the color of money.
What?
Yes.
At the burning part or the color?
It's in the way that you use it down. It's a song from The Color of Money.
Oh, dude.
In his book, he talked about how the only way to get it off was he just jerked off a bunch and eventually his dick turned back to normal colors.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That'd be like a.
I don't.
You don't buy
think-
that?
I think you're-
There's a direct quote in the book
JMO,
where he
if
talks
I got
about
something on my penis.
I cut the quote for time, but there's a direct. But now we've undone the time. But there's a direct quote in the book where he says like, to get it off, I just had to jerk off a whole bunch.
I had to get off to get it off.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a fun project to have.
Yeah.
You have
It
to
makes
masturbate.
no sense.
JMO, imagine just right
It's
now.
friction.
Someone says you have
What do
to
you mean it makes
masturbate.
no
Just
sense?
scrub your dick with like a loofah.
But why would you loofah your dick?
Why would you loofah
Are you
your
an
dick?
animal?
Yeah, why would you scrub
Like
the
one of those
flesh
like
off your
no,
dick when
I'm
you
not
could just
scrubbing the
masturbate?
flesh off. You get one of those like fuzzy. There's like little like netty. You know, I use one of
Like
those
a Brillo pad?
Not a fucking Brillo pad, dude.
Oh my God, that
Dude,
sounds like a Hellraiser
the
thing. or
puff
something.
ball, that like puffy thing.
Yeah, I know what a loofah
Like,
is.
that's I don't know if that's the name.
Jam was like, just bleach it. Just
Josh-
get it. You just gotta
I
get
would
it.
never
next to
say-
normal.
Wait, Josh,
you don't
why,
bleach
why,
your
Josh,
genitals.
Why is anyone
You'll
having
hurt
to,
yourself.
Why does anyone have to twist your arm to masturbate? I mean, isn't it fun to have sex
Wasn't
with
that a
yourself?
more fun way to get your dick color back?
I guess.
If you have to choose a method.
I mean, if
How tired is your
if
penis,
with every
J-Mo?
cum, it was like, oh, it's getting back to flesh tone. I'd
Maybe
be
he
like,
only did it 3 times and he was fine. Who
okay.
knows? I'm not saying it was like
It's fucking art,
seven
dude.
nuts to get the color out. You know,
Then Da Vinci
just saying it's
vanished.
a fun problem to have. That's all.
I'm not saying art is doing it bad. I'm just saying it's like because let's say all right, let's say you jerk off and you're like, all right,
Yeah.
but I want to get the rest of this color out. So he's gotta wait like a half hour and then jerk off again, or can he just go? You know what? Let me just see if I can just wash it off. You know, instead of
I don't think you can wash it off, dude. I think you have to
has to get into his-
you have to rub it off to rub it out.
Yeah.
He has to
Rub it
get,
out
you
to
know,
rub it
this
off.
is in the 80s, so he has to pop in the VHS cassette, you know, lay not on the couch, but like with his back up against like
He's
the
in a
couches.
small apartment with his
Yeah.
his wife and the kid who's almost as old as his wife.
Oh my God! You know what? Maybe it would be kind of a hassle.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
JMO
dude.
should have been there to help this guy be his big brother. Let him
Yeah.
know.
Have you heard
don't
of
have to
soap? Have you heard of soap? Soap works. No, I just use
Let me give you this sponge I got.
I just
at Bed
use
Bath.
I just use jerk strength.
Let me
Soap? What's
exfoliate
that?
your shaft.
Then Da Vinci vanished. No call, no show. Art looked for his mentor. He even peered through the window of his house. Everything was still there, covered in a thin layer of neglect.
What is Da Vinci his first or last name?
Da
That's
Vinci's
his
his
nickname.
nickname. His name's Pete. But because he's such an artist and he's Italian,
They call him Da
Art
Vinci.
called him Da Vinci.
All right, from here on out, for the rest of this podcast, my nickname's Manute Bowl.
Cool.
Okay?
All right.
because you're tall and good at
No,
basketball.
it's just that's what do you think? Why is this motherfucker Da Vinci?
He's an artist.
He's an artist and he's Italian.
He's an Italian who is creating beautiful works that they then spend on cool stuff.
But
Perfect.
JMO is tall and iconic.
Yeah,
so
it's true.
You can be Minute Bowl.
Yeah, I get it. Art suspected the worst, but now he was stuck. He'd done only 3 printing runs with Da Vinci, but with his apprenticeship cut short, he had neither the skill nor the means to set up shop on his own. So he did the only thing that made sense.
Jerked off again.
I was gonna say that.
Came off. Sorry.
Fuck yeah, bro.
I didn't mean to step on your line.
Mind meld. No, you had it.
And jerked off again. That's not that. That was
Oh,
his
I
story.
was like, whoa, that's a pretty.
That would
good,
have been hilarious.
I'm getting good at this.
No, he began robbing drug dealers using a Chevy Caprice disguised as an undercover police car.
Wow, that sounds like a really great way to not make a bunch of enemies that want to kill you.
But he was playing a dangerous game. The early 80s
what I
saw
was saying.
Chicago flooded with guns. It didn't take long for Art to take a pair of bullets.
Oh, he got shot?
Yeah. Once in the leg and once in the shoulder.
Ooh.
Same shooting. It wasn't different shootings.
Oh, yeah.
One shooting.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Gosh,
It was
by the first
1992 and Art knew it was time to get off the streets entirely. Despite his incomplete training, he returned to counterfeiting. He started by setting up a printing hole in a rented 3-bedroom basement apartment. He bought used printing equipment. He even purchased a Mac with an early edition of Photoshop to experiment.
That's a good commercial for Apple. Think different.
Since the fake cash business would take a while to grow, Art set aside 1 bedroom for growing marijuana.
This guy.
Dude, I like Art.
This guy's a funny
I'm really
dude.
into Art's work right now.
He's pretty cool. Finally, he started trying to print money. After weeks of mistakes, he finally finished his first run, $20,000 in $20 bills. He had the product. Now he was faced with the much harder job of selling it.
It was tough because instead of putting Ben Franklin's face, he used Tom Selleck's.
He's like, this is all I had. The Photoshop's very simple. I had the free version, and
It's Magnum PI. That's the free thing that comes with
they
the
say,
edition.
make what you know, and that's what I did.
Oh yeah, son, that's going to be $22.50. So you just go ahead and give me a couple bills here.
But these are $20.
All right, yeah, I'll take both of them.
You mind if I pay you with the counterfeit dollars? I mean, you said they're as good as money, right?
So, since when does Ben Franklin have a big mustache?
I don't. Wait, am I the guy selling you the thing?
Oh, yeah, Gavalt.
Listen, just take the money. No one notices it. He shaved in the other bills.
Art needed a partner. It was time to break rule number 1.
Can I ask you a question?
No. Yeah. What's your question?
Oh, okay. You stopped me. He made my robot head explode. I was like, well, then go on with
Yeah.
your story.
What's your question?
So he would sell the counterfeits?
So the counterfeit business wasn't about spending it yourself because that was the number one way to get caught. The counterfeit business was all about
Just getting it into circulation?
Was about organized crime is like the number one place for counterfeit money.
Yeah.
So the way the business works is you print like $100,000 of money
And sell it for
and you
20
sell it
grand.
at like you sell it for like 20 or 30 grand, and then those people they put it into their circulation. So for example, if
So
you're
like
a
at their
book,
business, they put it back into their change or whatever. They
yeah,
give
if
out,
you're a
like-
bookie, just mix counterfeits into your payouts.
Have any
stuff
of you
like
guys,
that.
have you guys ever tried to like counterfeit? I remember when I was like super young, I went to like 7-Eleven and I like
You photocopied or
I
what?
photocopied
Yeah,
money,
sure.
and then I like just went behind the 7-Eleven, cut it out, and then like, I'll take 2 packs of basketball cards,
Did it
please.
work?
No, God no. Like,
Why'd you look at me like I was an idiot? You did it.
I tried to do it, but it's black and white. The fucking thing.
Oh, you didn't even do it in color? Jesus.
No,
okay, that's
this,
different.
this is like the 80s, dude.
Oh,
this is like
that's
the
so
late
funny.
80s. I think I was like 8 years
you're
old.
right in the peak of the
Wish I
counterfeiting
knew art.
wars.
If I knew art,
Yeah.
The guy's like, this isn't real money. Get out of here, kid.
I was like, all right. I was like, well, how about this photocopped $100 bill?
Art recruited
Monopoly
his friend
money.
Mickey Pepitone, a former boxer with
You playing with
connections.
Hanukkah guilt? You're like, well, I have some golden treasure. You put the- this is
Don't open it.
This is gold wrapped chocolate. Get out of my store.
Well, if you get hungry, you can just eat it. It's still worth something.
It's worth something, sir. There's no gold standard anymore, anyways.
Art recruited his
all
friend
chocolate.
Mickey Pepitone, a former boxer with connections.
Related to
Eddie Pepitone?
Yes. There's a that's why actually the only reason why I kept his last name in there. Mickey arranged their first deal, buying 6 pounds of weed from a suburban grower who did not know the money was fake. Ooh. Which is the worst
So
kind
he's
of way
just
to do
making
this.
enemies
Yeah.
with the people that are the criminals. Basically,
He's
people that
doing
will
he's
kill
doing
you.
everything wrong at this point.
This is like
other
so
than
was
making
that
the fake
was that the
money.
greed rule that you said, or was that what rule was that you said he broke?
3. Yeah. Well, he already broke rule number 1 where he brought somebody else in.
Oh yeah, dude. So he's just, and we still haven't heard from Da Vinci.
Yeah, I was
He
going to
just-
say,
no,
what's
Da Vinci's gone.
Da Vinci think
He's
about
just
this? right now?
disappeared. He disappeared, and like
He's either dead or ghosted. It's one of those two.
this is his
Does he
mom's
come
voice.
back later in the story?
No, he's actually totally gone. Yeah.
Really?
We don't know.
I
what
liked
happened
Da
to him.
Vinci.
That was a little bit
Me
of a
too.
spoiler, but thanks, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
I was hoping he would come back. Now I know he's not.
No,
coming
there's no
back.
reason. Actually, there's no reason for me to hide it. Yeah,
He
never
was
comes back.
dating. He was dating Arthur's mom, right?
and then just gone.
and then gone. And
Disappeared.
even the print shop was still there.
Everything was still there. Just Da Vinci was gone. So that's why he thinks.
And we
that Da
still
Vinci
don't know
got
to this
killed.
day. Like he could have been like mafia killed.
No
or whatever.
idea.
What?
Yeah. Dun dun dun.
That's tripped me out.
Where were we? 2 hours after the sale to the grower, Mickey got an angry call, and the grower threatened them with repercussions.
Why is money blue?
Shit, I should have. I knew it was supposed to be green.
Bring me back my Hindu apple kush.
I told myself it was green, but blue just seemed like a good artistic choice.
I'm colorblind, and I don't see stuff. I'm art.
Mickey responded by tracking down the kid's address, going to his house, and beating him with a tire iron.
Mickey beat up Art.
No, Mickey beat up the grower who complained about the fake money.
What did Art do?
Mickey's Art's partner. That
Mickey and Art are partners.
I like Mickey.
But Mickey is the
He's assertive.
He's going and he's taking care of stuff mafia style.
That's one of the few big words I know. Assertive.
Assertive?
Yeah, I don't know many.
It's assertive. 3 whole syllables.
Dude, the other one I know is gregarious, and I'm probably going to use that later, and it'll be wrong.
Please do. And then I'll ask Slaton, what does gregarious mean again?
Art sold his part of the weed for $12,000 in profit. JMO, how would you describe making that much profit?
Man, that is gregarious.
Totally.
That's just how Greg would sell it.
Totally. But he was unhappy with the low-level criminal spotted his fake so quickly.
Greg is so Arius.
After a few more weeks of trial or error, he came up with a process to hybridize traditional and digital printing. He finally had a legit product. Now all he needed was better customers.
To sell the money to.
Mm-hmm. So Art set his sights on the Chinese mafia.
God, this guy.
They sound like they're very forgiving and friendly.
Now, the reason why he goes to Chinese mafia and not Chicago's traditional Italian mob is because he knew that if the mob knew about his business, and
they
he was
wouldn't
from the
even let him
neighborhood,
have the business.
They would, they would
run
take
the-
a cut of it or whatever.
Yeah.
They would skim him.
You need protection.
But the
Chinese wouldn't.
goddamn Chinese people, they don't care.
He landed a meeting with a contact known only as the Horse.
Okay.
Fuck.
That's a terrifying
yeah,
name.
dude.
That's a terrifying name.
I was born in the year of the horse.
Which he
That's why.
discovered.
Listen, that's my name. I mean, I was born in the year of the horse. They
that's-
call me the horse.
That's
And
how
this
you
is my
network
friend
with
the
him.
rat, and that's the dragon. I don't
I'm the
know.
monkey.
Yeah,
Don't
he's
forget
the
the cock.
monkey.
Don't forget the
we got the
cock.
cock. Listen, we just go by our Chinese calendar.
Which was simply an accurate description of the man's face.
Oh.
Okay, actually, I lied. I was actually born in the year of the rat. This is the look at my face. Look at me.
For the listeners that
Pass
can't
the egg drop
see,
soup, please. Thank you. Ooh.
Art showed him a fake bill. They were in business.
This is nice. I like Tom Selleck money. Would you like some wontons?
That's your impression of the Chinese.
Yeah,
Chinese-
it's like, how do you feel about crab rangoon?
My God, you've assimilated so well, sir. Chang, you sound like a white man.
Well,
How did you learn to speak English?
If you learn the rules of counterfeiting, he sucked my dick, I sucked his, and now I'm the horse.
He's like, there's actually a lot of ways that we say things in Mandarin that sound like an English white guy. So it wasn't far of a leap for me to sound like.
Welcome to Dateline NBC.
Another
This
report
week, this week our news story: Chinese people all learning English from RuPaul's Drag Race has resulted in a weird new tick in our community.
RuPaul is fierce.
They still have the R thing, though? RuPaul.
There was a problem. The Chinese plan to distribute the bills in Chicago.
Oh,
Rule
no.
number 2.
So could Art tell them, like, hey, guys, like, that's
Well,
part
he
we can't
would,
do
but
that.
at $25,000 per $100,000 of fakes, he couldn't say no. So time to break rule number
Art
2.
hasn't been making any good decisions in his life.
Yeah, he
so,
sounds like
you
he's
know.
just breaking every rule that Slaton told us.
Hope you don't mind. I'm going to be going to the deep dish pizza place. I'm going to take some of these fake hundreds. Bye. It's me, the horse. Peace.
Mr. Chinese man, please come back. Don't.
Sorry, got to go. So wrong. So wrong.
He goes,
See
"Sayonara."
you later.
Clip clop.
Sayonara is actually Japanese. Get your fucking Chinese right, bitch.
Let me tell you something about the Chinese and the Japanese. Very close cultures, and they do appreciate each other's language. once
Hate
in a
each
while.
other a lot.
especially
For
the
sure.
mafias.
Pretty much hate each
Not
other.
the horse.
Within 6 months, Art added the Mexicans and the Russians. The business was taking off. He had so
Fuck.
many orders.
Yeah, dude.
He had to break rule number 1 more and hire help.
He's just doing
Ah.
multicultural mafia stuff.
He
God,
had
somebody get Da Vinci on the phone,
Right.
man.
He can't. He's gone, and as we already know, he's never coming back.
he had tons
Like
of money.
George Clooney in Gravity, he's gone. He's never.
I have spoiler alert. I still haven't seen it.
Oh, George Clooney like dies at the beginning, and he
Aw,
never comes back.
man.
And you wait for him the whole movie.
I was so excited to watch that. Just them hitting space for so long.
There's even
it sounds
a scene,
great.
There's even a scene where Clooney comes back and he's talking to her, and you're like, "Oh, he did survive," and then you find out she was imagining.
Oh man!
I saw that movie 3 times in the theater.
And you forgot what I'm talking about right now.
I love that movie.
It's a great movie. Sandra Mother effing Bullock is amazing.
I saw The Matrix 3 times in theaters because it was 1998, and that was awesome.
Everybody saw The Matrix 3 times in theaters.
Yeah.
Do you think these guys saw The Matrix 3 times in theaters, or are they so busy just being?
I would bet that Art saw it 3 times.
Do we
think outside?
know what year we're at right now?
We're in the early
80s.
90s.
Oh, early
We're in the
90s.
early 90s.
Early
It's
90s.
around 92, 93.
Sublime was coming out with music that was killing it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a good time. Kurt Cobain was just
Yeah, never mind. You know, it's just
Yeah.
it's a time of change.
smelled like Teen
and
Spirit.
I believe that Art was still probably into hair metal, so he's still listening to "Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone"
which is totally relevant to him ruining this business.
because he was hanging out with Da Vinci. Da Vinci's older. Da Vinci's into he's into the party stuff, not no grunge.
Art had piles of money, and he loved to spend. He bought Armani shirts, high-end electronics, and regularly hired a limo driver for nights on the town.
Oh, for a night on the town, paint the town.
He would
green.
go. I mean, he would just go out and throw cash at people. It was kind of exactly what you're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
He hid everything from his wife. Each morning, he put on his uniform for his construction job.
Oh, even she didn't know.
Honey, buddy, can you go take the $120,000 BMW to the car wash? I gotta go board some shit up. Okay, constructions.
Honey, it's
I gotta
weird
cut
that
a
we
couple
have.
2x4s. You know, if
You know, honey, it's weird that you have a BMW, but we still only eat top ramen in this house. And I'm a little,
Well,
just
I'm a broke construction worker, honey. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to sell my Rolex or my Bentley. You know what I'm saying?
I get it, and I support you, and I love you for being my husband.
You're a great wife.
Just if you could turn the electricity back on, that would be really nice.
I will do that. You know what I love about our relationship?
What?
Honesty.
No, it's so honest.
It's so great, but honesty.
To help make ends meet,
I
she took a
promise
job
I'm
at a
not
security company.
counterfeiter.
What was that?
To help make ends meet, she took a job at a security company owned by a cop.
Wait, he's got money though.
But he's hiding
He
everything
doesn't
from
let her know. It's rule number 1. Don't let your chick know you're involved in organized crime, even if she has to get a job.
But you have to
Rule number 2: make her get a shitty job.
make her get.
That convinces
where did
people
she
that
get
you're
the job
broke.
at?
Some security company owned by. So she was working at a restaurant. She was working as a waitress at a restaurant, and this cop who was a regular, she ended up telling him about her dreams of being a cop one day, and he goes,
oh,
well,
so
come work-
she's not only not keen on this guy being a criminal.
She
but
knows
she
something's
wants to be
going on.
part-
She doesn't know
wants to be
exactly
part
what
of the
it
good
is.
side of the law.
Yeah.
So she's like not even.
Yeah,
She's not even the type to be into crime.
yeah, not really.
Oh wow.
She's just poor, so she's like, yeah, commit crimes, but I'm going to be a cop one day.
Poor thing got pulled into all this crap.
Yep.
So is Art like a nice dude? Is he like a good husband? Like besides being this shady secret life guy, like how is she with him?
He's
'Cause chicks don't normally
exceptionally
go
he's
for bad
exceptionally
guys.
charming.
I like Art.
Yeah, I see that. Art
I think
grew.
he's kind of fucked up. He's making his wife work.
I love your counterfeit.
Come on, J-Mo. Play
That was
with me a
good.
little.
That one was good.
Art grew jealous that something was happening between his wife and her new boss. He got so crazy she eventually moved out. Furious, Art planned to murder the boss with piano wire. But his mother, having heard he was on the edge, called from Texas and begged him to come visit.
We're living on the edge.
I don't know what the line is, but I know what the...
Sometimes you gotta strangle a dude with some piano wire.
Please don't kill my boss with your piano wire. Please don't kill my boss tonight.
So he sold off the printing equipment, packed his bags, and boarded the first bus south.
Wait, why? Because
Because he was just like, he was sitting there going,
I got to win her back.
well, he was sitting there going like, I almost just murdered, like, he's been trained properly to a certain degree by Da Vinci. He's now broken all 3 rules and is about to murder somebody. He's like, this is fucking bad shit. I gotta get out of here. He makes a good self-care. He makes
He
a
took
good
himself
self-care
out of the
choice.
situation
Yeah.
totally?
Yeah, good
So
self-care.
he didn't pack up his stuff so he could go murder her.
No, he straight
packed
up-
up his stuff because he's like, I need to clean up my life. I need to get my shit together, and I
Yeah.
gotta screw all these bad plans. It's like a AA rule.
Yeah, that's the end of the story, actually. He lived a good normal
life.
life for the rest of his time.
There's still pages left, though.
Oh, what? That's so weird.
You tried to psych
Mom's
me.
new boyfriend set him up with a trailer and a construction job.
Oh man,
The hard
more
work,
trailers.
The hard work was a distraction, as were the cute country girls, enamored with the glamorous stories of the sexy Chicago criminal.
Where's he living now?
Outside of Dallas in another Texas trailer park.
Okay, so Da Vinci's now the mom's moved on to Michelangelo. who's
Yes.
the new
Yeah.
boyfriend.
Officer Angela, how you doing?
He spent a year mostly on the straight and narrow, working hard and banging hot young redneck chicks. But he grew bored when he found out some of his girls knew the local drug dealers he couldn't resist. He turned his squad of hot redneck chicks into a crew.
This is
Dude,
hot,
I'm
dude.
telling you, dude, drug dealing girl pussy is way better than regular
Yeah, can you
chick pussy.
describe
I
these
mean,
chicks
come
to us,
on.
Slaton? Like, what do they look like?
About 300 pounds, lumpy.
Stop it.
They developed a strategy of going to country bars and playing the honeypot. They would identify dealers. Then the girls would seduce
Is that a
them.
woodwind?
Yes.
Okay.
It sounds like this. Blue, 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 blue.
The honey pot.
Then the girls would seduce the dealer
Christopher Robin, do you still have the counterfeit?
and head to the dealer's home where they would dose the men with GHB. Within 15 minutes, the dealers would pass out. The team would enter, stealing all the drugs and the cash.
Sir, I don't know if that's the way you're supposed to use GHB, but
No, that's exactly.
That actually is the number one.
The number one.
If I was going to choose a
It's a
way
date
someone
rape
uses
drug.
I thought it was a bodybuilding drug.
GHB.
HGH, fuckface.
Oh, yeah.
well, then isn't it an English
Can't you see
punk
how
band?
swole J-Mo is and how tired I am? HGH, GHB.
It's a punk band. Have you ever heard
HGH, GHB?
No,
Oi, oi, wear the
GBH.
bruise.
That's
Sporting
that's no effects.
That's
That's no effects. No, this is an actual English punk band called GBH. They had a great song called Big Women.
What does GBH is different. That's GHB.
There's a lot of acronyms going on here and abbreviations, so I'm just gonna say, go on with your fucking story, Slaton.
GHB. It's easy as GHC.
DHB.
My favorite song by AC/DC is TNT.
Which I get on my HGTV.
It was easy money.
My neighbor
We
got
all have HPV.
I just had my neighbor had HPV.
Tommy Lee has Hep C.
Oh, yeah, but
You know what? He got it the old-fashioned way. I give him credit.
Proud of him, man.
That's right.
Now came time to break rule number 3. Don't get greedy.
Suck his dick. That's the rule I know.
Get your dick.
Josh, that's not the actual rule. That's the rule that you know.
That's the rule that I
It's not
know.
an objective rule.
That's a
just
good rule, though.
A friend, Dave.
keep calm and suck my dick. It's the poster.
Wait, tell me about Dave. I want to know about Dave.
Dave approached Art with a job.
All right, listen, man. I got an idea for you. All right, people are going to send in a quarter, and you're going to send them 30 burnt CDs. That's the job.
There's a BMG reference. You're like, I can't get out of the acronyms. I can't
I'm
get out.
Columbia Music House.
Columbia.
Fuck you and your BC.
I only burn MP3s.
Okay, listen, here's the deal. You're going to be dressing up as the Noid and slinging Domino's pizza flyers.
Stage a robbery of a struggling jeweler
That's not a good job.
so he could cash in on the insurance.
Okay, listen. Can you steal fake rubles? I
Yes.
just want to keep saying rubles. This is my 4th rubles reference
You can.
I've said so far. Okay, continue.
It seemed like the perfect gig. They would keep the goods, the jeweler would get the payout. Even if they got caught, the jeweler wouldn't press charges.
Good. I like this.
But not only was there way less jewelry than Dave said, Dave got pulled over for speeding as they left the job.
Oh, you fuckface.
Oh, it's like the Al Capone tax stuff. You're just like, dude, like, you're getting caught on silly shit.
When the cops noticed how nervous Dave was, they searched the car and found the stolen goods in a bag monogrammed with the jeweler's name.
Can I see your license, your registration, and the Hope Diamond around your neck? Perfect. Thank you.
But this isn't the Hope Diamond. It's a crystal. I believe in crystals.
Just with sweat dripping off his
healing.
palms. And oh, dude.
As it
Hey,
turns,
why are you wearing a shirt that says I'm a fucking criminal? Huh?
By the way, why is all this? Why is your registration blue and look like Tom
from the money
Selleck?
thing,
Why does your
like-
ID look like Tom Selleck?
Why is your dick still green? How do you know that, officer? I don't know. Just
put your pants
Step
back
out
on.
of the car.
Sweet callback, bro. I should be proud of that one.
Thanks, bro.
As it turned out, the jeweler was not in on the scam.
Oh, dude.
In fact, he hated Dave, who was his daughter's loser boyfriend.
Oh, dude.
Not only did he press charges, but Dave told the prosecutors that the whole thing was Art's idea in exchange for a reduced sentence. In January of 96, Art was given 6 years in prison.
But he's
I guess it
only
could be worse,
But he's
right?
only 15 years old, so he's gonna get out at
J-Mo, he's been
21.
growing through this story.
Oh yeah, from everything I know.
No, he's a Family Guy character. He's still 15.
This story stopped. This whole story happened in 1 week in 1972.
Go on with your stories.
Art spent 3 years inside the Texas prison system, where inmates are more likely to be raped or killed than anywhere else in the country.
In Texas
Oh,
prison?
that's not true. Have they done the Ha Ha Cafe?
comedy reference.
But there was a bright spot.
Inmates. These are our inmates. I have comics.
Natalie, one of the girls from his squad, every month she made the 10-hour drive to see him, popping diet pills to stay awake.
What a cool trooper girlfriend.
When he got out, they moved in together, and he got a job in construction, making $7 an hour if there was work. Depressed, he and Natalie visited Barnes & Noble so he could get...
Everyone I know that's ever depressed visits Barnes & Noble, and it really does cheer you up. They have Starbucks there now, too. Really
so
great.
he could get a copy of The Tao of Jeet Kune Do by Bruce Lee.
He got into Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
He's been through this crazy journey,
Of course he's into Bruce Lee.
and then he gets into Bruce Lee, and this is how he gets clean. He straightens out.
Yeah, you know, he's straight and narrow forever.
The first thing he did was then after that go buy the Ab Master, sponsored by Chuck Norris.
He's just into martial artists.
It's just like,
I don't have time for Tony Robbins. He doesn't know how to kick.
Since he had no money, Natalie paid for the book with a C-note. When he saw it, his mind exploded. While he was inside, the $100 bill had changed. Printing currency has always been an arms race against counterfeiters. The Treasury had already introduced a number of measures before 1996, but most people didn't check any of them. The only one that seemed to be working was the pen, which appeared brown when it touched the starch used as a binding agent on most paper, but looked yellow when used on the starchless cash. Still, most people only applied it to hundreds, so counterfeiters just switched to producing smaller bills like 10s and 20s.
Yeah, you make the marker, I'm just going to do the smaller bills, and we'll both stay out of each other's way.
So in 1996, the Treasury rolled out an entirely new series of bills. They made the pictures bigger to accommodate hard-to-scan details. They printed the bottom right number with color-shifting ink. They added the watermark, the secret double image that shows up when you hold a bill to the light. While nearly everyone criticized the bills for their monopoly money looks, they also examined them more closely, bolstering the success of these measures. Art was impressed. On the ride home,
Was he getting inspired? He's like, man,
he was
it's
looking
a
at this.
Challenge accepted.
He saw
his
this.
green dick was so hard. Just fuck yeah. I can't wait. I'm going to take another layer of this color off tonight. I'm so horny.
On the ride home, Natalie asked him a fateful question.
Can I see your green dick?
How hard do you think it would be to counterfeit? Art replied that the real trick was beating the pen. People believed in it so much, they probably wouldn't check other measures. So Natalie put up $3,000 to get him started.
What did she buy him? A computer?
All the equipment. They spent weeks searching for a solution, but nothing worked. Chemical blockers made the cash look funny, and none of the hundreds of samples Natalie requested from paper companies passed the pen test.
Ha ha!
One night, during an argument born of frustration, Natalie spitefully began marking every piece of paper in the house. After the paper towels and the toilet paper, she said, quote, "Aha, here's the phone book. The same phone book I have been using to call fucking paper companies.
That I spilled fucking starch on.
Haven't tried this."
Had my potato latkes soaked into it, all the starch.
She ran the pen across the pages and they froze. It came out yellow.
That's what you want?
Yeah, yellow. So brown is react. So when we
Brown,
use the
flush
pen-
it down, yellow is mellow.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
exactly.
It's the same rule.
It's pretty much the exact. It's actually the exact same rule.
It really is.
That's so crazy.
That is.
Counterfeiting and saving water when you poop and pee. Is it a crime to save water when you poop and pee?
Yes. Now they had the paper. They needed to match the color shifting ink on the number. Again, weeks went by with no results. The ink was a closely guarded patent. Until one day, Art passed a 1996 Mustang Cobra and noticed the color change. Iridescent paint jobs were popular in the late 90s and just so happened to work perfectly for his needs.
Wait, what do you mean?
So, like, you know, in the bottom right corner of a bill, that number changes from black to green when you shift the bill around.
Sure. It's got.
I gotta look at a
It's
bill
a
right
little
now.
color changing. Yeah, there's a little color changing stuff going on there. Yeah, like a
Let me do a magic trick. Let me
like a
see-
5 or a 10 or
let
a
me see
20.
your 20.
The bottom right corner. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
iridescent paint?
Well, he found out that iridescent paint that was used for douchey cars in the 90s
Yeah.
would do the same job fine. So he got a bunch of that.
I like how art is like he's out and he gets inspirations the way like artists get inspiration. Art, I mean, no pun intended. But
totally
he's
is.
he sees the $100 bill and bing, he gets the epiphany, or he sees the car passing by and bing. I mean, this is great. Like it's just great filming too. Like I feel like the story's just it's fun seeing him like
Oh yeah, no, he's
even though he's
on
bad
it.
and we don't condone any of this. People, if you're listening, we might be telling you how to counterfeit, but we don't think it's good for the soul.
All that was left was the watermark. Since it was built into the paper, it was nearly impossible to fake. Some large outfits resorted to bleaching real 5s and 10s before reprinting them as hundreds. But those bills would not pass a strict test. The solution came to him in a dream. Glue 2 thin sheets together and place the watermark image between them. He could also put his fake security strip in the same spot. 4 months after leaving prison, Art held his first prototype up to the light. It was perfect.
Really?
Yes.
Like you looked at it and you like, I can't tell the difference that this isn't 100. And it worked with the marker.
Yeah.
Whoa, I'm digging art. Is it this? Yeah, I like this guy.
Yeah, so
like
he
art.
did so many little things. So to get the color changing ink on there for the stamp, he went to Kinko's and had them print out a stamp that said 1005, but in the money shape. Which it's weirdly enough, the shape of the numbers for money isn't actually protected by the U.S. government. So it's why you see it on like T-shirts and shit all the time. So he had them print out one that said 1005, and then went home and just cut off the 5 and used that to print the 100 on the $100 bills. Yeah.
Wow, this
love
guy's
that you know this.
he's a real graphic
He's a
designer.
super, I mean,
skilled, inspired, and like is just
Can he make the flyers for the goddamn college? I need a new poster guy.
he actually, you know what? I'll fill you in later. The bills were a big hit.
was that a sexual promise? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm going to fill him up.
Fill
Oh, no.
J-Mo in?
Art rebuilt his old network, reaching out to the Mexicans, the Russians, and the horse.
As we all do at time to time.
The orders were massive. He needed to fill them in just a few days. So he recruited his old pal Mickey, who let them use the public pool where he worked as a lifeguard as their factory
How?
at night.
Like they're probably like the lifeguard office.
Oh,
You know
I know
what
there's like
mean?
a technical thing. Like they wash the money in
No,
the
no.
chlorinated.
No, they just
No,
they were like,
it's-
there's no one here at night, so we can
Okay,
use this
so
as
we
our
have a
factory.
space. You have like a little warehouse.
They
here.
spent all night in a cocaine-fueled assembly line.
Oh, that sounds
You're
like
gonna be up. You
Yeah.
might as well be up having fun.
They finished in less than 4 hours, so they invited a bunch of hookers to the
By
pool.
4 hours, they mean 6 minutes.
Yeah.
We just watched $7 million. It's like, you want to watch RoboCop? Let's watch RoboCop. You like the movie RoboCop? You want to listen to the song? But
No,
Let's listen to Unskinny Bop again. I'm almost done.
even better, they invited a bunch of strippers and hookers to the pool as a celebration and paid them in fake money.
oh,
That's bravo. Yes,
that deserves a round.
that's right.
Yeah.
A round of applause. You pay the hookers with fake
I'm
money.
gonna pay you $17,000. Oh, this motherfucker good.
Yeah, oh, he gonna do whatever he wants. You know what? Make it
shit on me.
18,000. I'll give you 25,000
The bills were a
because they're
hit.
just gonna, they're gonna spend it too, right? And nothing's gonna happen. It's gonna be fine.
I'm telling you, if like, because from the years ago,
The
when I
hookers have the
worked-
marker, J-Mo. They
when
pull out the marker.
No. That's what's funny is when years of me working at the strip club, it was like a long time ago. It was like girls got fake money all the time. You never paid a girl in 100,
Yeah.
because then they would check that. But
Yeah.
at 20, they just take.
But
Fake
the thing
20s.
is that like
And they've
fake
been
money,
drinking, and then
Sure.
they don't
fake
fucking
money.
get
When you
it.
feel it though, like so much, it's like an art. What goes into making the real money? Like you look at it, it's like woven together. It's like this beautiful.
Have you been to the
material.
Treasury? I've been to the
Oh, I
Treasury.
thought there was a strip club that you worked at. I was like, no, please, like
I
send
used to
me
DJ
there.
there.
The Treasury.
He called. I got a friend coming in. Treat him real good.
There's
I'm at the
actually
Treasury.
there's a
All the girls are named after currency and gems.
Oh, dude, Ben
There's
Franklin,
a,
she rocked my
There's
world.
a strip club actually in by the Long Beach area. It's very popular on Tuesdays, just Tuesdays. I don't know the rest of the week. It's called the Library. But the Treasury, I've been to the actual Treasury in Washington D.C. and it's like money. It's like they're just and there's a machine. It's and it's just coming out, man.
They just print it. It's
they're
nothing
just
special.
printing millions and millions of dollars a day
Yeah.
at least.
It's so weird that that's what it is. People living and dying for that, and it's like they're just printing it.
I mean, it was so funny. Like when you were looking at that bill, I had that moment where I was like, "This is." I need this back though.
I'm not gonna
okay?
take your James. I'm not gonna steal.
I got that out of an ATM, not a Wells Fargo ATM, so I paid $4 to get
Oh, you're the
cash
worst.
out.
Like, look at this. Like there's
I had a
texture.
TV
The
show,
20
I mean.
has a texture. If you go like this on a
The
shirt,
scratch, yeah, that's the number one thing that I would feel like you counterfeit. And then also you got to have the,
that's not printed, right? That texture is like a woven thing.
I
or-
don't know how they make.
Well, there's
I mean-
a bunch of weird. I mean, I can tell you all about the little details that after the show because there's so many weird little things that I learned about how the bills are constructed.
Yeah, like this looks like something like you.
Now, I've also been since researching the story, I've been looking at every single bill that I had and going like, is this one fake?
I
Is
need
this
that.
one fake? Is this one fake?
I give you
buy
a
tilapia
I give you
with
a
that money.
I give you a counter.
Right now, John just took my cash and put it
But I
in his
gave it
pocket.
back.
He
Let
gave
the
it back.
listeners make note. I gave them the money back.
The new hundreds were a big hit. Before long, everybody was trying to get a piece of the action.
Everybody wants a piece of the counterfeit action.
The Russians wanted to fly him to St. Petersburg for a 3-month exclusive gig, which he wisely turned down.
I was going to say that is one of the rules. The fourth rule: never let the Russians take you on any kind of vacation.
Well, he was like, he saw how they treated everybody at the last Winter Olympics, and he was like, well, I'm not staying in this hellhole.
Bro, we have air conditioning. No,
Look
you don't.
what happened to
No,
Ryan
you don't.
Lochte.
He started to get paranoid, spending thousands at Spy Shop USA on high-tech security measures.
Oh, God.
As you should.
He even paid 6 months up front to rent a secret farmhouse in a cornfield under a fake name.
Just for what? To put stuff at? And
To keep his operation just away from everybody and as a place where
Is
he could
that
just
worth
escape.
it? Like to have that cash, but then not feel like fun with it? To be like, now I got to be. It doesn't seem
It's an
fucking
addiction,
worth it.
my friend.
Yeah, that's right.
But then disaster struck in the form of a high-profile mob hit. The FBI, seeing a chance to take on the heart of organized crime, moved on Chicago in force. Art saw the writing on the wall.
Somebody dying out there?
Yeah.
Art saw the
It would be
writing.
the first time someone died at the Comedy Store Dungeon.
Oof.
The ghosts of the Comedy Store Dungeon.
I am Rita Rudner.
Oh, can I do a spot real quick?
Art,
never get past.
Art saw the writing. Art saw the writing on the wall, packed his gear, his girl, and 50 grand in counterfeit into his Mustang and hit the road. They spent weeks camping off the grid and hitting malls to pass their fake bills for real change.
You've done that?
Just
you ever
buying
done that
stuff,
before, guys?
Just getting Wetzel's pretzels with your cash. Yeah, just get another Wetzel's pretzel. Get rid of this.
Getting Sbarro slices.
Yeah, Sbarro's like, I'm at Tilly's. Let me just see if I can get these cargo shorts real quick. Get rid of another
Well,
20.
there's like a whole art to passing too, like choosing the proper kind of cashier.
Yeah.
like they talked about how choose either
dude.
old ladies
Dude,
or
I had to-
teenagers who don't give a shit.
Time out. I had a buddy.
This seems way too
I wouldn't even
stressful.
call this guy a buddy, but back when I was like in my rave days, we're talking probably the time that this was going on, maybe a little bit past. There was a dude that used to go into like
Raves.
sports authorities, and he'd take a Big Bertha, which would be like a $600-700 driver, and he would take the receipt off of, not the receipt, the tag off of that,
yeah.
and then put the receipt, the tag for like a far cheaper one.
He tag switch.
Yeah, he tag switch, and then he'd buy that one, and then he'd go back and he'd say, without the receipt, without the tag, with the Big Bertha, and be like, hey, I bought this from my dad, and he didn't want it. And they're like, do you have the receipt? And he goes, no. And they're like, well, they have to take it back. They just
Oh,
have to take
interesting.
it back. So he just,
They give him cash for
they
it?
give him cash or store credit.
And that's why they're out of business now.
Yeah,
They're
sports-
not a bill. You're talking fucking
Sports
sports authorities
Authority-
on every goddamn corner, dude.
No, not anymore.
I think they folded.
There's like 3
Are
left.
you off the grid like Art? Are you off the grid?
No, I just don't go to Sports Authority. If I need something, I go to Dick's.
The unexpected side effect of
You
all
would
these
go to
passings.
That's kind of my rule for life. You got a problem? Go to Dick's.
Okay. That's Dykes.
Is it really? No, it's not. It's Dick's. It's
No, it's
D-I-C-K.
Dykes.
Dick's Sporting. You're not gonna get me saying that one.
Why are you Australian suddenly? You're not gonna get me saying it, what?
The unexpected side effect was piles of purchased goods that they had no use for.
And they're off the grid. Where are they keeping it? You can't. You know how much storage space is in a fucking
In a
trunk
Mustang?
of a Mustang? Like, honey,
Well, once you have the subs,
why did we buy 3,000 napkins?
If it's the fastback, you could stack up a couple $1 million.
so they donated the goods to local charities.
Oh, see, they are good folk. They turned out to be all right.
When they ran out of counterfeit, they simply rented motel rooms with cash and spent the night making more.
Making
They had
more love.
making more cash.
Oh.
They had so much money to change that they didn't even bother doing laundry. When clothes were dirty, they simply went in the donation pile and the couple bought new ones.
But I love I have a shirt. I've had this shirt for a year. I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, well, you're sentimental.
But they're not. You can't afford
You
to
can't
be
be
sentimental.
sentimental in
When
this
you're
game.
A fucking
Rule
criminal,
number 4,
you
don't
can't-
be
Don't be
sentimental.
sentimental. That was like a rule in the movie Heat, right? Like you just can't be sentimental.
Now
you gotta
Art
be
and-
ready to move.
Now Art and Natalie went full speed crazy. Every time he printed up a new order to drop off in Chicago, he made an extra 20 or 30 grand. Then he invited a small group of friends and family to go on bill-passing shopping sprees out of town.
Again, he's getting his family involved in this. They know that it's counterfeit too.
Yeah. He taught them all how to do it.
You're breaking all Da Vinci's rules. So he's only spent 6 years in jail at this point, though, right?
Yeah.
Or no, did he get out early?
Yeah, he got out early. Got in like
He's-
3 years.
he's a good, okay, so he did
Yeah.
3 years. Okay. So he hasn't maybe he hasn't learned his lesson, or did he have a rough time when he
Super
we didn't really
has
talk
not
about
learned his
how
lesson.
he was in
I don't
jail.
think he hasn't learned his lesson at all.
No.
He's
obviously.
recruiting friends
He's
and family
never
to go
been
on
doing
slamming
anything
runs.
right. He hasn't done one thing right. Da Vinci had 3 simple rules: suck my dick,
Yeah.
suck my dick,
Let me suck your
let
dick.
me suck your dick, and don't fuck up.
Yeah.
And he's fucked up right from the jump, dude.
And he's sucked no dicks.
This guy
As
is,
far as I know, he didn't put it in it wasn't in the story. You know, I didn't.
would you like the
find any-
story more, Slane? Do you think our listeners would like the story more?
If he was sucking dicks
If
all the
there was
time?
more dicks, I could go on the story.
I mean, you
Because
can
we've
never
had some
go
stories.
wrong.
We've had some stories with some major blowjobs.
Some
We've had stories
huge,
with people
deadly
dying from
blowjobs, yeah.
The French president died while getting head. I mean,
Yeah.
we
Amazing.
We have to say that
Slamming, as he called it, allowed him to pass thousands more than he and Natalie could do on their own. Slamming is what he calls when he brings like a whole group and just smashes them all with
I thought he
counterfeits.
was like a pog guy or
Yeah.
something. Yes.
But the Bills had a weakness.
I know what slamming is. I do a crime podcast.
The Bills had a weakness.
What's
Humidity. Wet air had a nasty effect on the glue he used to
Smears.
bind the sheets,
Back to jerking
sometimes
off.
causing the Bills to split. One friend learned about the flaw the hard way.
It's like he's
when
trying
he
to
and
buy
his-
like a My Chemical Romance T-shirt at like a fucking Hot
Hot
Topic.
Topic at the mall. Yeah.
She's like, this bill is it's kind of falling apart. Just shut up, Eagle Cherry, and just give me the goddamn goods.
One friend learned about the flaw the hard
Fat
way
girl with a Tim Burton shirt. Come on, just give me my change.
when he and his friends spent thousands on hookers in Jamaica,
Oh,
only
lot
to
of
get jumped
mercy.
by angry pimps who discovered the fraud.
Oh, angry Jamaican pimps.
Yeah.
Get back here.
They took bills that don't
Gonna
work in
beat your
humidity
ass, man.
to Jamaica and then got caught.
This money isn't real, man.
No,
Cut his balls off. What else did they say? What the guan?
Bumbleclot.
Bumbaclat, this money is
That's
fake,
all I know.
man.
On February 19th,
J-Mo
2001.
jumping with a character from Jamaica. Is that the gun going off as they shoot at him?
That's how I punch.
Oh, damn, man, that's bloody
I punch so fast it goes.
Oh, the blood clot is so fast, man. Gonna punch him.
On February 19th. On February
It's like a machine gun, man.
on February 19th, 2001.
What happened? Did this happen? Okay. So
Art went to Chicago to make a drop for the Russians, and Natalie's 18-year-old sister, Amy, insisted on coming along.
did the Russians
You know when this was going on? I was on Birthright.
Nice,
You're in
dude.
I was
Israel?
on Birthright.
Speaking of Russians,
Just for fun,
Russian Jews.
Art brought an extra
There's a lot
60
in
grand in fakes
Ashkenazi.
Ashkenazi,
so they could
not
enjoy a night
Ashkenazi.
on the town.
So wait, say it again.
Just for fun, Art bought an extra 60 grand in fakes so they could have a night on the town.
As you would. I mean, bringing a couple grand is
How would you spend 60 grand in a night, J-Mo?
in a night.
Have you ever
Coke.
spent 60 grand in a night?
No, I would.
Just-
Well, honestly, if I had I don't know.
How much would you get? Like, if let's say you had enough nut for 5 hookers.
But I wouldn't. That's not that. Like, to be honest with you, if you were like spend 60 grand,
Yeah, what would you
right
do?
now, I'd probably like
Just buy a car? Like,
no. You can't buy a car with cash.
You can't?
No, you
can't?
can't.
What?
You can buy.
What are rappers supposed to do?
Yeah, why can't you buy a car
You
with
can't
cash?
buy a car with
It's
cash.
federal-
It's illegal to buy. I'm almost positive. You can't buy a car with cash. It
That
has
just
to be-
ruins like 9
it
million
has to
TV
be-
shows.
It has to be either a check or no. Actually, to buy a car, it has to be a money order.
Really? Why won't they just take 60 grand in cash? Isn't that
But
better than money order?
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I did buy a car in cash.
Yeah, like you could just. I would. It's as good as cash. It's cash.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, so you won't tell me what you would do.
I would. It just depends on what time of the year it is.
Sure.
Okay, Christmas
If-
time.
Christmas time, I would fly home to see my mom
Okay.
and go to like a Wizards game
For
or
a si-
something.
That,
60
you
a
still
60
have,
grand
like-
flight.
You still have like $58,000 left.
Yeah, yeah.
How would you spend 60 grand?
Buy your mom some hookers.
Yes. No, I don't know. See, it's
Dude,
weird. It's
does
a
anyone
weird
ever
thing.
just
Like,
buy-
all right, what would you do?
Huh? I mean, I don't think I'd be able to spend that kind of money. I'd eat a crazy steak meal.
Yeah, Fogo de
A lot
Chao.
of beef tartare till I threw up.
Fogo de Chao's crazy steak
Fogo de
meal.
Chao.
It's a great place, but it's not like
I know,
If you want crazy,
let's not
steak,
make it feel bad.
I want churrascaria. I don't
Dude,
want.
go
I
to
don't-
go to what is it called?
Cut.
Spaca?
Cut. You been to Cut in
There's
Beverly Hills?
There's that. No, I haven't. But
Cut's
there's that
amazing.
place that's attached to Mozza.
Trigger for you vegans. Cut is the best fucking steak.
Spaca has got like it's where you get like bone marrow. Like the
Oh, yeah,
steak's
that's
like
what Cut's
$120.
That's what Cut's like. It's like I had a steak there several times, and I blew my mind every time, like all the food. So, but that would only cost you. Maybe you could spend $1,000 with a few friends there.
Bring a couple friends. No,
They're
dude. If two,
Okay, if you get a crazy bottle of wine, you can spend 15
I
grand.
mean, you can
Okay.
spend a couple
So
thousand
15
there at
grand.
least.
Then let's. I mean, I was joking about the hookers, but let's say you have some sort of people that are accompanying you. Okay.
Well, let's do I
another
have it
20
in a
grand.
night or do I have a day?
Another 20
Do I have a
grand.
day?
Okay, sure, a day.
I
Let's
have
say
a day.
12
All right,
hours.
I
12
go.
hours to
I
just-
probably go buy. If I had to really spend 60 grand,
Pay someone to let me shoot them in the foot.
Honestly,
That's the most creative thing. We've both just been going by the standard like 80s movies of fucking Scorsese. Like, you buy hookers and cocaine. But you decided to shoot someone in the foot. Ding, 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 ding. You won for creative way to spend the money.
Most likely, I would go to Six Flags and get the Flash Pass, so I don't have to wait in line. You know what I mean?
Coaster Babies.
Coaster
Big
Babies.
spender.
J-Mo and I are in a club called the Coaster Babies, Southern California's only roller coaster riding club.
And you know the funny thing? Can I be honest? And this
please.
is
How
not,
long have you
this
been
is not
lying? That's
shitting.
my
This is
question.
not at all shitting on Gerard because I know how busy it is.
Yeah.
Like we're always like we got to get the crew, the original crew together to go to Six Flags. And LaQuasto's in, I'm in, you're in,
yep.
and Gerard. He's like, if I have time, and I'm just like, you know what? He's been retired.
But I
He's
think
an honor-
Gerard's like on a yacht with Beyonce and Jay-Z. So
Yeah,
we're like, you
I
want to
know.
go to a roller coaster? Like, my life's a roller coaster.
I think that we need to induct Rich.
Into the.
I just need to go, man.
Do you like roller coasters?
Yeah.
A lot though.
Yeah.
Like a lot. Like if you had a day to do anything you wanted, would you maybe include roller coasters in that?
That's a distinctive possibility.
I think we might be able to actually bring him into the group.
I think we need to do it.
You might be a member
Dude,
of the Coaster
it's fall
Babies.
right now too. So right when school's starting, I think we should.
Kids
Let's
are-
talk about this afterwards.
Yeah.
Talk about this.
This
Coaster
is-
It
Babies.
still has 45 more pages to go.
Oh yeah, no. This is
My dog just shit on the floor.
Your dog's
your
at
baby.
home, but your dog's at home waiting. He's not in the car, risking it all. It's gonna be fine. A little shit.
Is your baby in the crate too?
My baby's with your dog right now. Everything's fine. There's no fires. We don't have to put anything out. Go on with your story, Richard Slaton. You might be a new member of the Coaster Babies, but go on with your story about Art.
Art met the Russians at the hotel bar at the House of Blues. They went to his room to finish the deal and snort some blow. When they returned, Amy had ripped her pants dancing. So she and Art
through
went
the
back
middle?
upstairs. Yeah, right where you think. They went back upstairs where he lit a joint while she got changed. There was a knock at the door. Before he could tell her not to answer, she cracked it open and in burst 4 of Chicago's finest. Hotel security had reported
Dwayne Wade, fucking Michael Jordan,
Scottie
Scottie
Pippen.
Pippen, and Horace Grant all just kicked open the door. Maybe Ernie Banks drove him there.
Hotel security had reported Art and the Russian to the cops for talking about going upstairs to do coke.
That was my favorite riff that I'm going to do all day today when you said, and I was too
Chicago's
slow.
finest.
That was really
great.
fun. That
No,
was
it
a
was-
fun one.
It was beautiful. But can I ask you
Tony
a question?
Kukoc.
They got turned in because someone overheard them say they were going to go do blow.
Yeah.
What kind of little bitch rats on someone for going to go
A
do
real
blow?
bitch.
Like to do blow. Like there's so many. Like
Oddly enough, Dennis Rodman was the guy who ratted. He was working at the hotel at that point.
you fucking asshole.
Yeah. The cops
Who
said they
rats on you for
smelled
doing
the
blow?
The cops said they smelled the
I don't
marijuana.
even do blow, but I don't believe in ratting on someone for doing a little.
Did you hear what he said? It's not the blow that got him busted. It's the pot, dude. That's why pot sucks, man, because it smells.
Says the guy on Sibidibba.
The cops said they smelled the marijuana and searched the room. They got frustrated when they found no coke, and Art's name turned up no warrants.
It's like, all this guy's got here is squirt.
That was a soda joke, or if we're in Chicago, a pop joke.
Who has Orange Gina?
Orange China.
Where'd you even find
Orange
that?
Gina? It's Orange China.
This man must be a criminal. No one can get this anymore.
Doesn't this guy know about LaCroix? What does he want? Diabetes? All right, go on.
Looking for coke. All this guy's got is RC Cola.
Just as they were about to leave,
He's still going.
one of the officers found
Soda
the
riff.
counterfeits.
Oh.
At first, they assumed it was real.
Grab me a Diet Tab.
I have an A&W. Is that good enough?
No.
Oh, you're under arrest for a riff that should have never been.
At first, they assumed it was real.
Goddamn, why you gotta buy the fucking Costco cheap shit? Who drinks Mr. Fizz?
I would.
As a juggalo, I only drink Faygo.
Go on with your story,
As a
you
lifelong
fucking freak.
Juggalo.
Go on.
At first, they assumed it was real, but then the officer looked closer and noticed the bills were missing one thing: the red and blue fibers mixed into the paper. They were super easy to fake.
Do cops generally check your money when they bust you? for
Well,
things?
they hear a guy's
Or they're
doing
just
coke,
spending a bunch of money.
and they found $60,000 in the closet.
Oh, so it's got they've got a magnifying glass on the money.
Yeah, they're like,
Okay.
let me look at this shit.
Yeah, well, something's peculiar.
Those fibers were easy to fake, but Art had stopped doing it months ago after seeing that no one actually checked for them.
I stopped doing it months ago after seeing that no one actually checked for him.
That night at
That's
the
what he's
police
thinking in his
station,
head. Angela, Mona, trust me.
That night at the station, Art finally met his boogeyman, the Secret Service. They'd been tracking the counterfeits for months with no success. Now they had custody of a man with a criminal record and thousands of fakes that matched their samples.
So there's like the phone calls in the department where they're like, I think I might have your guy. Come on down here, and then they come down and they got their guy.
Oh yeah. They separated Art and Amy, taking a run at the teenager first.
Don't take my Amy away! Ah!
Wait, fix her pants first.
Yeah.
She ripped them. Damn.
Oh no, the Chicago cops like, nah, dude, that shit looks tight.
That was,
He's born in the station. You know, I got to see some panty.
why is Bill Cartwright arresting her?
Just be interrogated by 4 guys who look like Burt Reynolds. Why is my face on all this money?
They're all laying down on a carpet like a bearskin run naked. Like, get freeze! There's just 4 of them.
After 4 hours of
I thought it was
interrogation, Amy didn't crack.
Oh, that's what the thing about Amy. She
I like
don't
Amy.
crack.
Art,
Amy's
on the other
awesome.
hand, immediately admitted to making the bills.
Oh,
Fucking.
He figured they already had him dead to rights, so why not brag? Who else beside the Secret Service could appreciate the craftsmanship that went into his fakes?
Whoa, so his ego got in the way of his own freedom.
Well, he thought he was done. He was like, they got me, so I might as well just take credit for it now, since no one else will understand how dope my bills are.
So he feels like he can't keep it like people need to know how dope he is as an artist.
At this point,
Art, you're fucking
despite
nuts.
his confession, Art's attorney made a critical discovery.
What?
The police report stated their cause for entering the room was seeing marijuana on the coffee table. But photos proved the coffee table was completely out of view of the door. It was an illegal search and seizure. The prosecutor dropped all
Oh,
charges.
glove didn't fit, boys.
That's awesome, dude.
While he dodged prison, Art now had a full-time Secret Service tail. He was stuck inside watching daytime TV.
Oh, that actually sounds kind of fun.
Over the Top,
Does he still
starring
have-
Sylvester
does he still have-
Stallone.
Judge Judy, can you watch before you go nuts, dude?
Let me just ask you a question, J-Mo. How much weed does he have left from that night? Because I can watch a lot of Judge Judy.
Over the Top, starring Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, I know it. I remember when he was doing exercises in his
is about
truck.
an estranged father and son bonding during a cross-country road trip.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It was also Art's inspiration for his next move,
He had his Bowflex in his big rig.
finding his dad. He tracked down an address and sent a letter. A few weeks later, he got a phone call. He made a plan to meet his pops in his new home in Alaska. Oh, wow. So 20-something years later, he finds dad.
Like, all this crazy stuff happens, and he actually finds his dad, like, right after, too.
Art took his wife and kids to meet Grandpa, who was surprisingly still with the same mistress, now his wife.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Family
It was
man.
real. It was
Although
real.
now she was in a wheelchair.
Now she's only 18 years old.
J-Mo, people age differently. I don't know if you know about Einstein's theory of relativity.
Now she was in a wheelchair, the result of her jumping out of Pop's moving truck during an argument.
They're wild people. I mean, you take risks.
That night, Art and Dad stayed up late, smoking weed, exchanging stories, and hashing out their problems. Eventually, Art showed him a fake bill. The next morning, Pops let him in on a secret of his own.
I've been doing this myself too for 20
I can
years.
suck my own dick.
He was growing weed.
I'm talking about the money now. Do we have to talk about your rib
Now
operation?
watch me do it. Come on, man. I haven't seen you in years. I'm all the way up here in Alaska. I got a crippled wife. Come on, Art. Watch this. Oh, no, now push my head down.
I call it the sea otter.
Push my head down.
I don't wanna
I'm
do it,
almost there.
Dad.
Push my head down.
After 20
Hold on,
years,
look
this
at
is
it.
what we do.
There's nothing better than when I suck my own dick and the Aurora Borealis is showing at full
You're right.
blast.
I mean, it is very beautiful.
I don't care.
Not the you sucking your dick part, but the lights.
Here, let me push you down a hill in my girlfriend's wheelchair. Whee!
Bye, Dad.
That's the only way I can come.
The next morning, Pops let him in on a secret of his own.
Only
He
way
was
it comes if
growing
J-Mo's
weed.
voice is telling a story like that.
He was
I
selling
masturbated.
weed and growing weed and selling oxy.
Aw, I like this. My kind of guy.
It
Yeah,
didn't
like
take
Bob
long
likes
for
him.
Pops to ask the one question: could Art make?
Can you suck
more-
your own dick? Because I can suck mine.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Sorry, Mom.
Son, you come from a long line of own dick suckers. My grandpa could suck his own
Yeah.
dick. His dad could suck his own
And
dick.
by golly, you can suck your own
You think
dick.
I'm up in Alaska because I want to live here? This is where they have the championships every year. Plus, the altitude is so high that I can my lung capacity is stronger.
The Staldotna dick sucking championships. I win the horseshoe competition every year.
The question was, could Art make more fake bills? They could sell it to the California Hells Angels and build Art's family a house on the property. They could finally be a family.
That's so like sweet and like wholesome and just based,
And just so horrible at the same
just
time.
just based on crime and just
Hey,
like,
son who I abandoned, if you help me make fake money, I'll be your dad again.
that's a really good sum up, Slaton. That was a really good sum up.
They needed equipment that was not available in Alaska, so they took a road trip to Chicago. Stallone's movie became a reality. Except this father-son pair was stopping every few miles to pass fake bills. They hit 45 gas stations in one day.
While the fucking Secret Service is on their tail, like watching them.
Well, he at some point he ditched the Secret Service by going kind of surreptitiously making his way to Alaska.
Okay.
They after a few weeks of him not doing anything, they sort of backed off a little bit. They're like,
Yeah.
let's check in with
Well,
him.
they can't. If
Eddie
he
Murphy-
drove there,
Did Eddie
then
Murphy
they
put a
can't.
banana in someone's tailpipe?
Banana in its tailpipe. After Chicago, Dad headed back to Alaska while Art went to Texas to pick up his remaining supplies. Bad move. Pops returned home to find his wife, Mistress, pissed off that he was spending so much time with the kids they'd purposely abandoned 20 years ago.
What?
I told you, motherfucker, that dude is a waste of your time. Now wheel my ass over to.
But honey, how can I pass down my self-dick sucking skills if it's not to an actual descendant?
I suck your dick?
Yeah, but that's not the same.
I know, but it's a lot easier. Your back hurts.
Yeah, I mean, it does. Not as much as yours.
Well, I can't feel it because I'm crippled.
Can I just
the
say
little
that-
blessings in
Can I
life.
just say that Arthur's stepmom has just got the most beautiful buttery voice. She's so I'm so aroused.
To appease her, Pops showed her the fake cash and gave her some to pass. Now she was super excited because it would help raise
Thanks, I'll
money.
just wheel myself down to Target and start shopping.
Because it would help raise money for their trip to South Africa, where apparently
They're
a
gonna go see a
bunch of
giant
money
word?
waited for them if they could just help a certain Nigerian prince get his cash.
Are you fucking kidding me? They were gullible. So these people are dumb AF.
What? No way. I mean,
they thought the Nigerian prince thing was
you
real.
didn't. You didn't get Nigerian prince money. I did. How do you think I'm able to afford this hat? She recruited some oxy-dealing friends to help pass the fakes. When Art got back and found out that Pops had broken all 3 rules in a matter of weeks, he closed his entire operation and packed to leave. He needed cash to get back to Texas, so he started slamming Anchorage with the remaining fakes. What Art didn't know was that the Art oxy dealers were already slamming, poorly, hitting the same mall over and over and over.
Just a disaster. Oh my god.
The dealers were quickly arrested, and within an hour, they faced the Secret Service. Within days...
So they're like
the-
one person away from Art now.
oh, yeah.
Fucking idiot.
Within days, the couple was back with Pops and his wife, Mistress, wearing a wire and building an ironclad case for the
This
feds.
is why you don't try to find your parents, right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
When they leave you, you leave them.
On July
what I
16th,
say.
2001,
Right? You don't leave twice.
20 officers raided Pop's farm. They found no fakes, but they did find all the equipment plus 4 guns with ammo, a violation of Pop's parole.
This sounds like a Rage Against the Machine song. Red and Pops.
They coming to my farm.
261 pills of oxy!
They coming to my farm to take my daddy's gun.
A bunch of weed! A scale and a stolen prescription pad.
Wheelchair mistress.
Pops and his wife, Mistress, unsurprisingly flipped, telling agents Art was on his way to Dallas.
Wait, watch this. Not only can I suck my own dick, but I can do a couple backflips. Here we
That's
go.
a backflip.
This cripple bitch. Watch this girl. Honey, do the trick.
Slaton didn't tell us at the beginning. They do have a quarter pipe in their backyard. She's on the wheelchair. I'm flipping.
Luckily for Art, he no longer trusted Dad and had changed his itinerary during his layover.
Dude, so is he like bummed that he met his dad? Like, I should have just left it unturned.
I didn't. For time, I'd cut a bunch of stuff, but like a couple times he like nearly beat up his dad, like pulled him over in the car and like yelled at him about
That's
shit.
fucking sad, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I felt fucking good for him that, like, okay, he got out of, like,
No, his
he got
dad's
out
a
of
scumbag.
serving time again, and maybe he, like, even learned a lesson, and then his emotional side is like, you know, I'm going to use this time
Scum
to
dad.
go meet my dad, and then, scum dad, treat your kids like they're just, you know, pieces of shit.
It was double lucky because the Secret Service met his original plane in Dallas. But when they landed in Houston, they got a call from Art's mother-in-law saying she desperately needed to see her grandson. So then they just drove to... So they were supposed to go to Dallas, but Dad ratted them out. But Art was one step ahead and changed his flight to go into Houston.
Yeah.
They land in Houston and get a call from his kid's grandmother, from his mother-in-law, being like, hey, I need to see my grandson. Can you bring him to me, please? And so they just did it. They were like, yeah, fuck it. We just avoided Dallas. Let's go there
It's
anyway.
a story of gullible criminals.
Yes.
They're criminals. You think they'd have a leg up on gullible stuff because that's how they make their money, is people being gullible, but they are just as dumb as their victims.
Yep. They went to
This is insane.
They went to her house in Dallas where Art was promptly greeted by the Secret Service.
You think?
After passing somewhere around $10 million,
Never trust your in-laws.
the bill had finally come due. Art struck a deal with the federal prosecutor. Everyone would plead guilty in exchange for reduced sentences. Everything was going fine. Art got 36 months, Pop got 5 years, and Natalie got probation. Then
That
came
wasn't even that bad.
Wait. Art only got 36 months?
yeah.
You
'Cause
described it like he was a baby's age.
He pleaded
I
guilty
mean,
and like gave them all the information
Like
and was
3
like, you know
years?
what? Yeah.
he already did 3. He's like, I'll do 3 again.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
use the weight. I'll use the
He-
weight room.
At this point, he's 20.
Yeah, I'll use the gym. No, he's in his 40s, right?
Then came.
How old is Art?
Let's see. This is 2001. He was born in 72.
So just do the math and then tell me.
yeah.
Okay, you asshole.
29.
He's like 30 something, right? So it's okay. He's born in 70.
Oh, yeah,
It's
about
2001. 30, right?
Yeah, almost 30.
So he's got time to spare, and he's already done 3 years. It's not that scary. It isn't like he's facing 20 years.
Then came wife/mistress, ready to ruin everything one last time.
His hot redhead?
No, the dad's pop's wife
okay.
mistress.
You gotta be specific. There's a lot of
The
people in the
cripple.
story.
When it was her turn,
That's not why
she
we're judging.
Pled innocent. Her trial was a disaster. Jurors literally laughed out loud at her testimony. Instead of the probation, she got over 3 years in prison.
Okay.
So ho bitch actually got her due.
But I was gonna say, but she's probably a nasty person, right?
Yeah, yeah, no, we're
not
happy.
worried-
We're-
I mean,
She's
we're not
handicapped,
happy, but
John.
Yeah, it's her. But how did she get handicapped? By jumping out of a moving truck because she
J-Lo,
was
you're
pissed off
so-
during an argument.
you're so likable. I'm not judging.
How
her
I
because
jump
she's
out of
nice.
She
cars all
vindictively
the time.
She
After
vindictively
they
crippled
parked, though,
herself.
J-Mo,
I
that's
jumped
very
out of my
different.
car 3 times in the way here.
Josh, I saw you jump out of your car today, but it was parked.
True.
Art got out in less than 18 months.
You landed on your feet.
He got a series of jobs, but his PO made him quit each one when she learned they required him to handle credit cards. Eventually, he got a job giving speeches about his counterfeiting operations for a document security firm,
That sounds fun. It's basically like stand-up.
but the PO put a stop to it when he was forced to leave the state for his gigs.
Oh, can't even
Oh,
be
what
a comic.
what a bitch, dude. Fuck the
But she's
PO.
got to be strict on him though, because look at.
No.
In
No, if he gets to make a living doing helping them make it better. It's like the guy from
It's true.
Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's like you just give it to him, dude. The guy's got a living now, and then he won't have to steal anymore. Fuckface,
Yeah.
right?
It's true, but they have a duty to also try to keep those of us that aren't the criminals safe in society. And when they see that they could be causing problems again too easily, I can understand why they could be like, you can't be around those credit cards.
in 2005,
Just on behalf of those of us that aren't the criminals, the victims, the potential victims.
Completely.
Right?
Rolling Stone magazine ran an in-depth article.
Jim just lets me just talk to him about it, and then he just goes like, "I don't agree, but I'm going to say it out loud that I agree. So you shut the fuck up."
In 2005,
I love your
Rolling Stone
arguments. I
ran
love
an
your arguments.
in-depth article on Art's story,
I love your
which would
discourse.
eventually become the book that was the source for today's topic. In August 2007, Art was arrested for counterfeiting again.
Oh, Art!
Not his fault. He came home one day to find his 16-year-old son, having read the Rolling Stone article, making his own fake bills. They got into an argument, and his son grabbed a stack of fakes and ran outside just as a police officer drove by.
Oh, are you kidding
Angry,
me?
the kid ran out to the car and told the officer they were frauds and that his dad made them.
What kind of kid did Art raise?
The search uncovered his son's inferior work, plus hundreds of the good bills that Art had stashed for a rainy day. So one thing over the years, Art had buried bricks of his fake cash throughout
Yeah,
the country
of course.
as backup money.
Yes, of course. Criminal 101, yes.
Arthur J. Williams Jr. was finally released from prison in January 2014.
Oh, he just got out. Welcome out to welcome out.
Since his incarceration, he has turned his talents towards art. He launched a clothing company
pun
called
intended.
Julius Da Vinci
Fubu.
and has regular gallery showings of his paintings. All of his work features some form of American currency. And we'll link up, we'll link some stuff to his art when we post all this.
He kind of did turn his life around. I mean, he's right.
He seems like he's doing
we're not
okay
talking
right
about-
now.
Unless we don't know that he's actually still doing. Kind of
I've checked up on him with all my free time, and he seems like he's doing okay right now.
You find out that the paintings are actually just like printed
Do you have
paintings.
pictures of this guy?
Yeah, I'll show him to you later.
Why'd you ask like you're a Scottish man? You have
It's just
pictures
the
of
way-
this guy.
No, it's just the way that my throat feels right now. When my throat gets dry, I turn Scottish.
Oh yeah,
And that is so far the story of Art Williams Jr.
Good take
Fuck yeah.
was
Good
awesome.
for art.
That's a round of applause from J-Mo.
I mean, he's still pretty young, so who the fuck knows what else?
Yeah, he'll be at the Comedy Store this weekend.
Yeah,
But I
right.
want to be a comic. now.
No. Well, I mean, 30, 40. He's like 45, 50 now, probably. Yeah, 50.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot of runway left to do a lot of stuff.
yeah.
I think it's got to be so hard to counterfeit these bills. These bills have changed. They're even more difficult, right?
Yeah, so his note was one of the two. There was also one called the Super Note, and his and the Super Note were the two top counterfeits of that $100 bill. And so the government had to step it up one more time after that round and add a whole bunch of crazy more stuff, like that holographic strip you have on $100 bill, stuff like that.
Is he the guy that they that inspired them? Like, we got to do better.
He and the Super Note, which was the competing $100 fake bill.
Like, he's the guy the Secret Service has on a bulletin board. It's like that. The way this guy's doing it they're pushing them to do better.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
Today's sources include The Art of Making Money, the
By
story
art.
of a master counterfeiter by Jason Kirsten, which is currently in development at Paramount. Chris Pine is in talks to play the lead.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that might be. A good one.
Also, an article on Art's Art by Seth Ferranti for Vice magazine, and of course, The Evil Robots at Wikipedia.
Evil robots. We respect what they do, but we have to always be vigilant and watch those robots.
Yeah, for sure.
They might turn on us.
So I'm excited to see this movie come out because it's like Catch Me If You Can, but with more drugs, which is exciting.
I'm in.
I just want to see his team of hot chicks.
I just saw Mother with Jennifer Lawrence. It's got to be better than that.
Do you know, like, can
You
you even
like Mother?
describe what happened in that movie?
No, I actually didn't see it. I thought that would be a funnier riff, and didn't go over well. That's my time, everybody. Thanks so much.
Hey, Josh, where can people find you on the interwebs?
All social media at Josh Adam Meyers.
Meyers.
Meyers. My website, joshadammeyers.com. And if you want to know anything about the goddamn Comedy Jam, the GD Comedy Jam on all social media.
And is it every Monday or is it once a month or when do we
The
do-
show?
Yeah.
It's whenever I want to do it.
Okay.
Next one's October 30th at the Roxy, and we're doing I'm headlining what is it? The St. Louis Funny Bone, October 4th through the 7th, and then I'll be on the Impractical Jokers cruise 1st through 5th of November.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah.
game. That's a lot of fun.
Come
That's
out, folks.
Please. Well, the
Hit it
cruise
up.
is already sold out. So if you're there, if you're listening and you already got tickets, I'll see you there.
Fuck yeah. Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, this is great.
You were amazing.
You can follow the
Your shows
show
are great.
on
I feel like
all
I got
the
better
socials.
as the story went on because my ADD is so bad that I couldn't follow.
It takes everyone about 10, 15 minutes to settle into the
Dude,
story.
I just have
to get
such
there
bad ADD. I was trying to listen to
great.
you. Yeah, but then you're like, wow, it's Keelan-Do. And you're hitting all the fucking, you're tagging everything.
That's the best description of what Chefsky
And
does
I
for
was
the
like,
show.
oh my God. I was like, I feel like am I not adding? And then I would just go, suck your own dick. And I was like, okay, that seems to be working. I'm just going to stay on that.
That's in the rhythm of the show.
Always fall
Perfect.
back on sucking your
This
own
was
dick.
great. This was so much fun.
Thanks
you
for
so
coming,
much
man.
for
You can
that.
follow the show on all socials at CRiiiME You can also email the show crimepodcast@gmail.com with any questions, story ideas, or dick pics. Label those for John Shefsky.
Oh yeah, pictures of your asshole. Send them to Rich.
And that's the story this week. Please give us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. We love you all, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, robot.
Bye.